Welcome to the 21st Annual National Customer Service Week virtual conference, presented by the Jamaica Customer Service Association in collaboration with the Public Sector Modernization Division. Under the theme, Service Excellence, Taking Jamaica Above and Beyond. Keynote address by Mr. David Mullins, CEO and founder of Blue Mahone Capital. Other noted speakers include Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, Mr. Leslie Lee Fook, Dr. Aisha Thompson, Mrs. Sandra Glasgow, and Alicia Little. We're shifting the narrative from what's wrong to what's strong in service excellence in Jamaica. Sponsors and partners include RJR Communications Group, PSOJ, Scotiabank, NCB, VM Group, NHT, JPS, JMB, Tourism Enhancement Fund, Guardian Group, Jamaica National, Burt's Auto Parts, the Bone & Joint Center, Burger King, Rhythm FM, Carry Code, and JCDC. Visit Jackson's website and social media pages for more details. Happy National Customer Service Week and have a wonderful conference.
I'm excited. Good morning, and welcome to day 2 of the 21st annual conference of the Jamaica Customer Service Association, JACSA. Service excellence, taking Jamaica above and beyond. That is the theme. And let me tell you, those of you who missed day 1, I don't know. I hope they recorded it all so that you can perhaps go back and have an opportunity to look at all of the fantastic happenings. My name is Althea McKenzie, and I will be guiding you throughout the day. And we do have lots to share with you today, including a graduation exercise. So lots on the agenda. But let me start this way. This is the day the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it. That is from Psalm 118 and verse 24. I paraphrased it just a little bit. But each day is a rich and precious gift from God with new grace and new opportunities. The Lord himself says that we have only this one day and we must not be anxious about tomorrow. Yesterday, we were told by Dr. Aisha Thompson that we are to live in today. Tomorrow is gone. And though you can look back and use it as a reference, tomorrow is not yet here. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow is not yet here. And so, my friends, we encourage you to live for today. What a wonderful time we're going to have. We have lots of speakers for you, and they have lots to share. And I do hope those of you who participated so beautifully yesterday, the chat room was buzzing, and we want the same kind of energy today. Those of you who participated yesterday, we hope you told your friends so that they are joining us today, because we are going to have a fantastic time. So let us rejoice in this new day that we have, chock full of new opportunities. Before I introduce our first speaker of the day, and yes, I'm calling her our first speaker of the day, I really just want to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors for making this possible. The Public Sector Modernization Division in the Ministry of Finance and Public Service, RJR Gleaner Communications Group, and both of these are platinum sponsors. We have in the Gold Division, National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited and Bank of Nova Scotia Jamaica Limited. In the Silver Division, we have Jamaica Public Service Company, VM Group, National Housing Trust, JMB Group. In the bronze category, joined by National Health Fund, Guardian Life Jamaica, Jamaica National, Burt's Auto Parts Limited, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, Restaurant Associates Limited, the Bone and Joint Center, JN Fund Managers, and we have to say thanks to Mr. Terrence Lawrence as well. And we have some wonderful partners as well. The Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, Rhythm FM, and Caribbean Center for Organization Development Excellence Limited, CARICO. Well, I really want to welcome the first person to address you today, and she's very special. She holds a very special place in the heart of JACSA. She holds a special place in the heart of people who understand how much work it takes to get it right in terms of customer service. I speak of Ilse de Verney, founder and chairman and CEO of Caribbean Center for Organization Development Excellence Limited, CARICODE. But she is also a founder of this organization that is bringing you this wonderful conference. She is, I would say, a customer service representative par excellence. Yes, recognized by the government and people of Jamaica for the outstanding work that she has done and continues to do. She has designed and facilitated workshops for educators and trainers in the Caribbean region and has been given an award for creating opportunities in HRD by the University of Cincinnati for bringing the first HRD master's program to the Caribbean. And she has given and continues to give motivational talks. She has spent many years as a volunteer and has also served for years in the Council of the Association for Children who are Mentally Challenged, now the Jamaica Association on Intellectual Disabilities. And even she's not retired, she's just retried, moving on to do all sorts of other wonderful things. It is my pleasure to welcome my friend, Ilse de Verney.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Conference 21. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the 21st Annual Service Excellence Conference of the Jamaica Customer Service Association, JACSA. It is my totally absolute pleasure to be here today with you all at this exciting conference, which focuses on service excellence, which really drives success all across industries. I'd like to begin today really with an appreciation of the past. Althea justly said it. But did you know, folks, that we have a new name? Us service providers, we have a new name. At our opening event this past Sunday, at the church service, Reverend Carlisle, he referred to providers of service as agents of God's grace. Agents of God's grace. What a fabulous name we now have. Yesterday, the outstanding local and international presenters, the participants from Jamaica, the Caribbean, and participants from various countries. The JACSA team, the tech support team, wow, what a wonderful conference experience we had. And of course, there was Althea who pulled it all together above and beyond. We moved folks to yet another level, another dimension. I don't know if I'm going to date myself, but when I was growing up, we used to hear a lot about 3D movies. 3D, three-dimensional, not just the length and the width, but the breadth. That was the 3D. Today, we are now in the 5th dimension, maybe, where we're talking about alternate reality. But then it is said that we're going to be moving to the 10th dimension. Can you imagine what that's like? So today, delivering exceptional customer service has never been more critical and more complex, disruptive. We're in a time when customers expect not just immediate solutions, but personalized, positive, memorable experiences. They demand speed. They want empathy. They want you to feel how they feel. And above all, they ask for authenticity, the true self. With the rise of artificial intelligence and automation, the human touch is what will set us apart. As one author says, no matter how high-tech we go, we will never replace the high touch, the human touch. But this new technology is also giving us incredible tools to serve customers better, to serve them faster, and to serve them smarter. As customers' expectations evolve, so should we. Whether it's about improving response times, leveraging data to predict needs, or crafting a seamless omnichannel experience, excellence in customer service is what builds loyalty, it fosters trust, and it drives long-term business success. So let us remember that the best way to predict the future, which we need to do, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And by fostering service excellence, we are actively shaping the future of customer relationships. This conference is a unique opportunity for us to share ideas and to gain new perspectives, to network and to inspire each other to set new standards of service in our respective fields, to move to yet another level. So, as we embark, my friends, on today's discussions and today's conference, let's challenge ourselves to think beyond the expected, to innovate, to lead the way in creating extraordinary customer experiences. You know, when I ponder on the theme of this conference, the image, we're taught to really, look for the image, because that's what's going to help us to grow and to develop. And so when I ponder on the theme of this conference, the image which came to my mind was the hot air balloon. It really preceded the aeroplane. But there was a song, I probably date myself now, but there was a song years ago which spoke to up and away, my beautiful balloon. That song had such beautiful imagery. I'm inviting you to use it to help us to move our customer service and to move our conference today. As the song says, let us search the clouds for a star to guide us. Let us recognize that we can fly so we may chase our dreams across the sky. Have an insightful conference, my friends. Have a wonderful day.
After such a wonderful welcome, how can we not have a great conference? Thank you so very much, Mrs. Ilse DuVernay, and lots of excitement to come throughout the day, and I'm very happy that we're able to bring it to you. We thank Ilse DuVernay very much for the work that she continues to do for us here in the country in terms of helping us to become better stewards of how it is that we serve customers in this country. Indeed, taking service excellence to higher heights, as we are saying in terms of the theme this year, service excellence, taking Jamaica above and beyond. Still lots to come here for Conference 21. I'm going to invite now Mrs. Erica Heslop Martin, Vice President, Public Relations, Communication and Marketing with JAXA, to come and tell us about our guest, who will give us the opening address today. I will have lots of work for her to do later on, but I'm letting her off a little bit easy this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Erica Heslop Martin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Althea, the hostess with the mostest. It is a privilege to be in the position to welcome the opening speaker for this morning's conference. And she is a dynamic lady, one that I admire so much, very vivacious, and very empowered. Her name is Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, and she is the Managing Director of the Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's leading human capital development agency. And prior to this appointment, Dr. Ingleton served as Vice President of Administration and University Registrar at the Caribbean Maritime University. In this capacity, Dr. Ingleton had responsibilities for human resource, student administration, services, legal services, marketing and communications, security, general services, and the Secretariat. She served as the Chief Operations Officer of the university and was in charge of all university functions. Prior to her appointment at the Caribbean Maritime University, Dr. Ingleton served for 7 years at the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information. For 4 of those years, she served as Director Principal for the National College for Educational Leadership and as its Director of Programs for 3 years. Let us give a heartfelt welcome to Dr. Tanisha Ingleton as she does the opening address on service excellence, taking service above and beyond.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Heslop Martin. It is indeed a privilege, a pleasure for me to be here with you this morning to speak about a topic that is really, really near and dear to my heart. I really have a passion for service, to how individuals are treated, to how is it that we receive each other, how is it that we perceive each other, and just the work that we have been given to do. How is it that we're being good stewards of what has been entrusted to us? So indeed, it is a pleasure for me to be speaking with you this morning. I do love you too, Mrs. Heslop Martin, such a valued team member at the Heart NSTA Trust. And I'm very, very pleased to know that she's carrying all of these positions externally as well. That speaks volumes to the competencies that we have in the organization. So let me take this opportunity to just give my own commendation and welcome to Mrs. Duvernay, the founder, Dr. Ensombe Jaja, an individual for whom I have the utmost respect, Mr. Richard Rowe, Deputy Chairman, Ms. Georgette Thompson, President, and of course, the founding members, the board of directors, the executive officers, the staff of the Public Sector Modernization Division in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, members of the media, and all persons that are connected this morning listening to this presentation and this particular topic of discussion, service excellence, taking Jamaica above and beyond. Now, I want to briefly, if you could advance, Mr. David, I'd be grateful. Right. I want to briefly take us through what is it that we're going to be hearing about today in this session. We're going to be looking at the definition of service excellence, the importance of service excellence, the current state of service excellence in Jamaica, and we're going to be using a particular framework model, a theoretical framework, which is appreciative inquiry, and to see how that aligns to service excellence and how is it that we could adopt that model in our organizations as we go forward. We're going to discuss a little bit about shifting the narrative and then certainly the recap. So that is what you're going to be getting from me this morning. So we're looking at service excellence and the definition. As a nation, Jamaica has a unique opportunity to position itself as a global leader in service excellence. We speak every day about this beautiful island that we're part of. We speak about the warmth of the people. As a matter of fact, when you're talking about Jamaica, yes, you talk about the sun, sea, and sand, but you really get the essence of this country when you speak about the people. And so by providing exceptional experiences to our customers, we can attract investment, we can create jobs, we can enhance our reputation as a welcoming and hospitable destination. However it is that we are with each other, when it is that we have to interface with individuals outside of the space, there is always this warmth, this hospitality, this freshness that really emanate from us as Jamaicans. So we have it within us to really be and do what we are to the external individuals coming into the space. We have what it is that we can be and do among ourselves. So today we will explore the critical role of service excellence in Jamaica's development. We will discuss strategies for improving service delivery. We'll showcase examples of excellence and envision a future where Jamaica is renowned for its exceptional service. So let's look at the definition of service excellence. Service excellence is the consistent delivery of exceptional experiences that exceed customer expectations. And I want us to look at this definition carefully, because there are some key words there that we should pay attention to. The consistent delivery, not good service today because I'm in a good mood and my blood pressure is intact, but then poor service tomorrow because somebody upset me and I'm dealing with issues. No, it is the consistent delivery of exceptional experiences. It means, therefore, that when an individual approaches us, essentially what we are giving to that person is an experience. It means, therefore, that our workspaces that we're designing, whatever it is that we're doing, we are giving an experience to individuals. And so the key elements are quality, efficiency, empathy, and innovation. Service excellence is the consistent delivery of experiences. Now it's about going beyond the basics to create memorable and positive interactions. Now, I want to say to this grouping this morning and all of Jamaica that will be listening, if it is that we're going to be going beyond the basics to create memorable and positive interactions, this cannot be something that we expect individuals to do naturally. This is something that we have to invest in. This is something that we have to teach. This is something that we have to monitor. This is something that we have to consistently evaluate. To achieve service excellence, we must consistently deliver the exceptional experiences. And this requires, of course, a commitment to quality. It requires a commitment to efficiency, and it requires a commitment to empathy in every interaction. It means, therefore, that when individuals come into our organization as employees, we have to be deliberate in our efforts to teach how is it that we are going to be delivering service around here? What are the expectations? What are the key elements? What are we looking for on the phone when that is answered? How it is answered? How many rings you had to go through before it is answered? With the very interaction of the individual in front of you, what is the expression on the face? How do you manage in terms of the physical environment? What is it that you are delivering to the customer? The very front door that you open, when you open it, what do you smell when you enter the space? What do you see when you enter the space? All of that has to do with giving the customer an experience. If it is that we open the door and we are seeing a dirty floor, or we are seeing a table with stockpiles of papers and files, all of that is communicating something to the customer. And the question we have to ask ourselves is that customer getting a good experience? Are we creating an exceptional experience for that customer? And oftentimes in workplaces, we may believe that this is a little bit too much. We are putting out too much. This is not something that people are paying attention to. But the moment a customer opens our front door, the experience would have begun. What they see, whether there be beautiful plants, a clean environment, a clean wall, etc., they are getting an experience before we even begin to speak with them. And it's the same thing even with the telephones that I say to my staff, and Miss Heslop is here, and I'm sure some of them are online every single day. The number of times that phone has to ring is already giving the individual on the other end of the line an experience. The number of times it has to ring before an automated machine picks up, or a live human being picks up, they are getting an experience. So it's important for us to pay attention to that. And empathy in every interaction. And so oftentimes an individual will come into a space and they're having challenges. It has absolutely nothing to do with us. They're having a bad day, whatever they're going through at home. Some of them may be having serious mental challenges that they do not even understand. And they come into the space and they open their mouths, and we take their tone, their expression, and everything to create an experience to give back to them. So in other words, we would have given them the power based on how they speak to us to determine how we respond. And therein lies the problem. And that is why there is the saying that the customer is always right, because it is up to us when that customer speaks to take that narrative, that attitude, and change it, translate it. Be very, very conscious that, okay, you're upset, you're annoyed, but my responsibility is to give you an exceptional experience. And therefore, I'm going to take what you say and I'm going to flip it to ensure that you walk out of here better than you came. Not the other way, where they start to quarrel with us and then we're giving them back that quarrel. And that is why it speaks about empathy in every interaction. And so service excellence is about understanding and exceeding our customers' expectation. We have to listen to their needs, anticipate their desires, and go the extra mile to make them happy, regardless of what we are getting on this end. And that is the dynamics about an employee working in an organization. When we are given a job to do in an organization, we have to remember that the organization takes primacy. So it's not about me and how I feel and how upset I am and the fact that you don't have any manners and you're coming here and you speak to me a certain way, and why is it that I should not speak back to you like that? It is not about us. It is about the organization taking primacy, and our role is to create an experience for the customer coming into the space to ensure that the organization at the end of the day has taken primacy. Very, very important. And those are some difficult conversations that as employers, we have to have with employees in the recruitment process, the onboarding, and the entire life cycle of being in the organization, that there are certain things that we have to suppress, that we have to submit, that our responsibility is to teach the person on the other end the right way. And we don't teach them the right way by reprimanding, cursing them back out, asking them to leave and hanging up the phone on them, but by demonstrating empathy, efficiency, and flipping the negative or bad day that they were having to create a positive experience for them. And that is not easy. And that is why it has to be taught. That is why it has to be targeted. That is why employers have to take it on within their own processes as something that they're going to give give optimal attention to, in order for it to become woven into the fabric of the organization. So that's the definition that we're looking at. indicated before that it is built on quality. And when we talk about quality, we're talking about delivering products and services that meet or exceed the expectations. And this means paying attention to detail, ensuring accuracy, and providing high quality outcomes. I'm sure many of us, there would be organizations that we call and they say, okay, could you leave your number and we'll give you a call back? And you leave the number and you never get a call back. And you call back again and you perhaps get the same message. Leave your number and we'll give you a call back. Them not returning that call is demonstrating that we're not paying attention to detail. We're not providing high quality outcomes. You are not important. And that is not giving the customer an exceptional experience. Then there's the efficiency, which is providing services in a timely and efficient manner. And this means minimizing wait time, streamlining processes, and using technology to improve efficiency. And many organizations do it. You'll pick up the phone, you call Digicel, for example, and you'll hear, your call will be answered in 1 minute, 30 seconds. You are number 5 in the queue. And so what that does, it tells you, okay, if I'm number 5 in the queue, and this is going to be 1 minute and 30 seconds, this is time that I can give. So I can make a decision as an individual to sit and wait on that. If I hear this, you will be answered in the next 15 minutes. You are number 75 in the queue. I can decide, okay, there is no way that I'm waiting for 15 minutes. I'm not going to stay in any queue at number 75. So I'm going to hang up this phone and get about my business and try this another day. So these are some of the technologies that we can incorporate within our businesses to ensure that we give individuals the option to either wait on the line, make a decision to come in, or do otherwise. And then there's empathy, understanding and responding to customers' needs and concerns with compassion and understanding. All of us make phone calls across the country very, very angry. I remember making a phone call once when I asked for a cable box to be delivered to my home. I think I made the phone call about September 15th, and they said to me, oh, we can't deliver until October 2. And I'm saying, September 15, October 2, 2024? I don't understand why the time span is so long. And they went on to say they didn't have any technician. And they just went on to explaining to me, we have some staff challenges. We have high staff turnover. The technicians are not as many as they were back perhaps a year ago. And because of that, we've had to be scheduling and staggering. And that made me feel, okay, I am respected. They explain to me exactly what's going on. I feel as if they're really taking my challenges seriously. That kind of explanation made a world of a difference for me in terms of how I continued with that conversation. And so that is why we have to teach within our organizations when the customer has mounted a challenge to your delivery time, etc., provide a rational explanation. And that's why as managers, as leaders, the individuals that are the front-facing staff, they have to know a lot of what's going on in the organization. And they have to know it within a positive narrative so that they can properly frame it and respond to customers. So the empathy, the taking steps to resolve the customer issues are important. And then there's innovation, continuously seeking ways to improve service delivery and create exceptional experiences. And this means being open to change, embracing the new technologies, as I spoke about earlier, and experimenting with innovative approaches. So all 4 components are essential for achieving service excellence, and neglecting any one of them can compromise the overall customer experience. So I'm sure whilst I'm talking, you would have been replaying in your minds instances where you would have had exceptional experiences and perhaps instances where you would have had really negative, bad experiences. And I'm sure you are now thinking about how did those experiences make you feel? How did you feel when you entered a building, the way you were spoken to, or when you had to do service on a phone and the way you were spoken to? How did that make you feel? If you're comfortable, you can share your experiences with the group in the chat. And of course, we can learn a lot from others individuals' stories. So, importance of service excellence. And we have in Jamaica the private sector and we have the public sector. And what is a little bit uncomfortable for me, we often hear that, oh, when it comes onto the public sector, there's no customer service. It's so bad, it's so poor. When it comes onto the private sector, we have excellent customer service because the bottom line is the big dollar. And at the end of the day, it's all about the dollar at the end of the day. And so individuals have to show up well in order for to hit that bottom line. And that is not necessarily the case. Across both sectors, there would have been very, very good experiences and very, very poor experiences. What is important is that as leaders of these organizations, we put systems and strategies in place to improve the experience that the customer receives. And so, private sector, increased customer loyalty, brand reputation, and profitability. That's really what happens if we give good service. Public sector, improved citizen satisfaction, trust in government, and efficiency. And if we look at these two, none of these are negotiable. We need increased customer loyalty in the private space. We need to have brand reputation to know that, okay, this is the organization that delivers this service. And when you speak the name of the organization, what is the look that comes up on people's faces? When somebody calls out an organization's name, what is the look on people's faces? What is the first thing that they say? How do they react? That is what brand reputation is. And if the brand reputation is poor, I can tell you undoubtedly it is going to affect profitability. And then for the public sector, improve citizen satisfaction. We are taxpayers. We want to know that our dollar is going in the right direction and that we are seeing the gains of that. And so when we go into a particular government building, we want to be treated with respect. We want to be treated with dignity. We want to be treated as human beings that are equals. That is very important because therein too lies another problem where you have a particular service perhaps afforded to some, and then another service afforded to others. And that's not what we want. We want consistent service across the sector so that every individual can feel valued. And if there is citizen satisfaction, there is going to be trust in government, and undoubtedly there will be a high level of efficiency. So nothing here is really negotiable. So, for increased customer loyalty, exceptional service fosters repeat business. And we want repeat business in our spaces and referrals. Nobody's going to refer a space where the individuals did not treat them well. We want strengthening of the customer relationship. For the enhanced brand reputation, we want a positive reputation that will attract more customers and investors and boost brand value. That is important to us. And for the profitability, reduce costs associated with customer dissatisfaction and increase revenue from loyal customers contribute to higher profitability. There are people who will visit your business not because the product is good, but because they like the people in there. That's it. They visit your business because the people in the space are so warm, so inviting. The systems are so well designed that they will keep coming back. That is important. And so let's look at an example. Sandal Resort's commitment to service excellence has made it a leading tourism brand in the Caribbean, attracting a loyal customer base. That's Sandals. When people say Sandals, the individuals who would have gone into that space, there's a big smile on their face because of how they are treated upon entry and throughout their stay. And that has given them a loyal customer base. In Jamaica, for example, Guest reviews, and this is data now, this is statistics. Guest reviews for Sandals Resort in Jamaica generally receive high ratings, with a significant percentage of reviews being very good or excellent. That is between 84% and 94%. So this is extraordinary. So when we look at the public sector, quality service enhances trust in government and fosters a more supportive population. If it is that we're not serving them well in the ministries, departments, and agencies, we're going to hear it from the people. For the enhanced efficiency, streamlined processes and reduced waste lead to more efficient operations. You don't have time to go into any particular office and to be standing up in there for 5-6 hours of the day when there are so many different things that you could be doing. And once we see lines that are unending, immediately we are providing or showing or demonstrating or packaging an uncomfortable experience for the customer. And so that is why we need to utilize the technology to lessen these unending lines. So, and if we're talking about an efficient government, we're talking about a commitment to service excellence that will help build a responsible and responsive public sector. And so let me give you an example of excellent customer service in the public sector. In Jamaica, where public sector entities often face criticisms for poor customer service, the National Health Fund, NHF, and I don't know if they're on here this morning, stand out as a standard bearer for excellence. The NHF has consistently demonstrated a commitment to providing exceptional service to its customers. And here is the research, here is the data. A customer satisfaction survey conducted by Kochi Market Research and Data Mining revealed that NHF beneficiaries, providers, and grantees expressed a high level of satisfaction with NHF services. The NHF received high marks in several areas, and these are the overall customer satisfaction. The survey showed very high levels of satisfaction with the quality of service provided by NHF staff, communication, waiting time, and accessibility. They received high commendations in staff performance as well. 94% of respondents rated the staff highly in terms of knowledge, competence, courtesy, respect, and responsiveness. In terms of customer loyalty, an impressive 96% of respondents stated that they would recommend the NHF to others. You hear that? 96 said they would recommend. And for communication, 95% of respondents felt that the NHF documents and procedures were easy to understand. So I hope my audience this morning is understanding what it is we're talking about when we talk about customer service excellence. Service excellence is not just about individual businesses or organizations. It has far-reaching impact on Jamaica's overall development, and by providing exceptional service to our customers, we can what? Attract the investment, create the jobs, enhance our reputation as a welcoming and hospitable destination. And then this in turn will contribute to economic growth, to the social development that we need, and a better quality of life for all Jamaicans. And so, current state of service excellence in Jamaica. What are the strengths and what are the challenges? Okay? So let's look at this. This is where we all live. This is where we wake up every morning. This is where we want to spend most of our time. Beautiful sun, sea, and sand. But what are the areas that could be improved? And what are the areas that we're maximizing on? So the strengths. Strong cultural emphasis on hospitality and friendliness. That's who we are. That's what we bring. The image alone demonstrates that. You go to any of these spaces, there's a big smile on the faces, there's warmth, there's friendliness, there's conversations. Increase in focus on customer service training and certification programs For example, the JSACA is a strength. What we're doing right now is a strength. This particular conference is a strength in what we can speak about of Jamaica in terms of our current state. And then there is growth, of course, in the tourism industry, which has driven improvements in service quality. So I'm very, very proud of where we are at this time, how far we have come, and certainly while some businesses and organization excel, others may fall short. And so we have to look at the challenges. And so inconsistency in service delivery across different sectors. That is something that we're challenged with right now. Inconsistency in service delivery across different sectors. So we're looking at a lack essentially as well of standardized customer service metrics and measurement tools, which makes it difficult to track progress and identify areas for improvement. We don't really invest in the thing so much because probably it was not something that was on our radar or something that we think we need to really pay attention to. And that is why I'm saying to this audience that if we're going to get it right, we're going to have to invest. We're going to have to be targeted. We're going to have to be deliberate. It's deliberate. It's something that we're going to have to teach. And so investing in the tools to measure the metrics, etc., will be important. And then finally, the limited resources and infrastructure in some areas can hinder the ability of businesses and organizations to provide excellent services. So Wi-Fi challenges, pole breakdown. You may have had a heavy wind or you had heavy rains and it would have hit down a pole and the pole takes forever to go back up. And for that entire period of time, those businesses on that stretch, they're out of internet, no proper Wi-Fi, etc. People are calling, can't get through. And so people quarrel and throw up their hands and say they're not being given good service. So it is important that when something like that happens, you have to look at the bigger picture. What is this affecting? What is this communicating? And what service are we going to be able to provide or not provide? And that is what will help us to move quickly forward. So despite these challenges, however, Jamaica has the potential. Our people, us in this space, we have the potential to become a global leader in service excellence. By addressing the challenges and building on our strengths, we can create a more customer-centric and competitive economy. We have it within us. We demonstrate it to people externally. So if we pay attention and do the investments, we will be able to do this. And I'm going to give you a framework as to how it is that we can do this. Appreciative inquiry and service excellence. Now, appreciative inquiry is a strength-based approach to organizational development that focuses on what works well. And in Jamaica, we have a tendency too much to look at all of the problems that we're having and we problematize. And for every solution, there's another problem. And it's like there's an award for the person who can come up with the most problems, right? We have to really move our focus from there and look at how is it that we can be more solution oriented. By addressing the challenges and building on our strengths, we can create a more customer-centric and competitive economy. So we look at the strength-based approach of appreciative inquiry. There are 4 stages: the discovery stage, the dream stage, the design stage, and the destiny stage. And what are the benefits? We highlight positive aspects of service. We foster a culture of optimism and we inspire innovation. What this conference is doing is just that. It is providing the space for us to discover. It is providing the space for us to dream, for us to design, and for us to reach an end goal in terms of what is it that we're going to look like, which is the destiny. So appreciative inquiry really is a powerful approach to organizational development. It is based on the belief that organizations have a wealth of positive potential that can be tapped into to drive growth and innovation. Appreciative inquiry is a particular powerful approach for improving service excellence because it focuses on what works well and builds on strengths. By celebrating the positive aspects of service, appreciative inquiry can foster a culture of optimism and empowerment among our employees. When organizations focus on their strengths and successes, it creates a more positive and supporting work environment in that, okay, I want to know what more can I do to feel this way, right? When my success is celebrated, I feel good. What more can I do to feel this way so that I can emanate that to those that I am serving? And this can lead to increased employee morale, to motivation, and to engagement. Additionally, a positive culture can attract and retain top talent, which is essential for providing excellent service. And that is why I'm saying to all my colleagues in this space, we have to teach this, we have to invest in this, we have to find ways to weave this into the fabric of the organization. Because if the people in this space are unhappy, you see, if they're unhappy with what is going on in this space, they are going to demonstrate that unhappiness to the customers. Appreciative inquiry can also inspire innovation by encouraging employees to think creatively and to come up with new ideas for improving service. By focusing on what is possible and envisioning a better future, organizations can unlock the potential of their employees and they can drive continuous improvement. And I'm going to take us through the 4 stages because this is a framework that I'm giving to you to use within your spaces to really come up with that end goal of what it is that you can look like. So the discovery stage. What about this stage, right? This stage involves identifying and celebrating the organization's strengths and successes. It is about uncovering the stories of positive experiences, of achievements and values. This can involve conducting interviews, doing surveys or focus groups to gather feedback from the employees, from the customers, and from other stakeholders. And by uncovering the positive aspects of service, organizations can create a foundation for future improvement. So take your organization. Ask the question about the best of what it is. Do your interviews, do your surveys, get the feedback from the employees and the customers. Yes. I'm over time, but I'm going to deliver this quickly. From the customers, and uncover the aspect of the positive aspects of service as a starting point. Having done that, you go into the dream phase. Imagine what could be. So in this stage, the organization envisions a future state that is inspired by its strengths and its aspirations. So it's about dreaming big, imagining what is possible. So this would involve the dreaming big, the imagination, the setting the clear vision for the organization, and of course, motivating employees and providing them with a sense of direction. And you're doing that based on the data that you would have pulled from the discovery phase. And then now you go into the design phase. And this phase is about creating a plan to move towards the desired future state. It's about identifying the actions, the strategies, the resources needed to achieve the vision. In the design stage, organizations can create a plan to move towards the future state of where they need to be. So this involves identifying specific actions, specific strategies, and resources that are needed to achieve the vision. And the plan, of course, should be realistic, it should be achievable, and aligned with the organization's goal. And then you move into the destiny stage, the final stage. And this stage is about implementing the plan and realizing the vision. It's about taking action, celebrating the progress, and continually learning and adapting. And it is important to monitor the progress and you make adjustments to the plan as necessary. So it is a particularly powerful approach for improving service excellence in the organizations. And when organizations focus on their strengths and their successes, it creates a more positive and supporting work environment. You have to use it to pivot so that there can be increased employee morale, motivation, and engagement. And of course, we create the positive culture to attract and retain top talent, which is essential for providing service excellence. And the last, I think we can go to the last slide now, which is basically really shifting the narrative from the problem-focused mindset to the strength-based mindset. When we focus on the problem, we cannot pivot from it. We can't. When we focus on the solutions, we can pivot from that. So the tendency to focus on problems and negative aspects is not really where we want to be. We want to shift to a positive and appreciative mindsets. And I know, and I'm sure you do, that it is natural for organizations to focus on problems and challenges. However, this problem-focused mindset, it will be limiting, and it will create a negative and unproductive environment. But the one where we want to be is where it will be a positive, strength-based mindset to increase employee morale, motivation, and engagement. And we recognize and we celebrate the strengths and boost the employee morale, we certainly will see something different in our organization. So essentially, we would need to shift the narrative by recognizing and celebrating employees' achievements. What is it that you're doing well? How is it that you've been showing up well? And how can I maximize on this? Encourage the positive feedback and the recognition. Let the employees tell us first what is going on. Let us be the ones to go out there and ask the question without giving them the opportunity to start the criticisms. Focus on the strengths in performance reviews. This can be a very difficult task. Very, very, very challenging. How can we pull out the best of what is there in the person and maximize on that? Encourage employee engagement and participation, and provide opportunities for professional development, and foster a culture of gratitude and appreciation. And I know that the question may be asked, and what if we do all of this and we're still getting the same poor service? We're still getting employees who are not changing. That is why it is important to build within the organization a culture. When people are in a culture that is in direct opposition to who they are, they cannot stay. When people are working in an organization where the culture that is built is in direct opposition to their deepest values, they can't stay. They're going to leave. So you build a positive and enabling culture with excellent service. The man in that space, if that is not what he wants, what he desires, he will become so uncomfortable that he will eventually leave you. And so I'm concluding now. Service excellence is essential for Jamaica's development. We cannot get to where we are without it. If we utilize a theoretical framework, such as appreciative inquiry, it can be a powerful approach to improving excellence. Shifting to the strength-based mindset is crucial for creating a positive and supporting culture. And having a vision for service excellence in Jamaica involves being globally recognized for exceptional service and innovation, not just one and two institutions. And so organizations can take specific steps to move towards that vision, such as investing in employee training, implementing customer satisfaction measurement tools, and fostering a culture of innovation. Thank you.
Wow, what an awesome way to start us off this morning. That was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And you can see why it is that Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, Managing Director of the Heart NSTA Trust, was invited to be a part of this experience. Thank you so very much, Dr. Ingleton. I know that you have inspired many today. bit later on, I will share a little bit of what it is that she said as I do my summary later on in the day. But absolutely fantastic. I think we're all being challenged to do better, to do more, to be more, to contribute more to our society through service excellence, taking it above and beyond expectations. That is what we're being called to do. Thanks again, Dr. Ingleton, for that very inspirational and motivational presentation. I think just asking us to have some introspection, look at who we are, and what we're doing in terms of customer service. And we're ticking right along because there is a lot more to come on this day too. And don't worry, I have stuff to give away. I have stuff to give away. Even some of the people in Jackson don't know about some of the stuff that I have to give away. But I will give away some stuff a little bit later on. Right now, though, I'm going to invite to introduce our next speaker, Dolores Jones, Vice President, Fundraising and Finance with JAXA. Please make her feel welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, conference attendees. The pleasure is mine to introduce our distinct guest speaker in Conference Day 2, which has been dubbed a late conference. Our guest speaker, Dr. Ann Crick, recently retired from the Mona School of Business and Management at the UWI Mona. During her career at UA, she served as a senior lecturer and a former head of the Department of Management Studies and the Center of Hospitality and Tourism Management located in Nassau, Bahamas. Dr. Crick worked in several of Jamaica's leading hotels as a manager and as a trainer before moving fully into academia. In those positions, she developed quality standards and established training programs and schedules that enhanced the delivery of customer service and the quality of work experience. Dr. Crick is an active researcher who focuses on the mechanisms that enhance and detract from the effective delivery of service in Jamaican organizations. She has approximately 20 book chapters and articles relating to her field of work and has done numerous presentations locally and overseas. Dr. Crick is co-editor of a book, Customer Experience Management in the Caribbean, which will be released in November. Go out and get that book. In August, she also released her first novel, Becoming Somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Dr. Ann Crick.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you are hearing me well, and thank you for that introduction. It is a pleasure to be here to talk to you about service excellence, taking Jamaica above and beyond. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and set my clock so I can make sure that I cover all the goodies. So actually, here is the book that was just mentioned. Don't make a lot of money off of it, or any money at all. But I wanted to mention it because we do need to understand about our region. And I think Dr. Ingleton gave us a great start to that. And we will want to be understanding more about that. Okay, so I am just having a little difficulty advancing my slides, so just give me 1 sec and then we can get going. All right, so should be seeing the next slide now. So we do want service excellence, very, very important to us. Service excellence is a driver, an economic driver. So that I'm sorry, 9 out of 10 customers are very likely to make another purchase due to service excellence. All right. 8 8 out of 10 customers are likely to forgive a company for its mistake after receiving excellent service. We are going to make mistakes, because if it's one thing we know about service, it is that it is not like manufacturing where you can withdraw it, if it doesn't work well. We're actually going to make mistakes. So it's good to know that if we have been giving excellent service up to this time, that we will be able to get back those customers. All right. 7 out of 10 customers who have made purchase decisions will make purchase decisions based on the quality of customer service. So when they're shopping around, and we know it's getting very competitive, they're going to say, I'm going to go to X bank or X retailer because of the level of service. And then very importantly, we now understand that there is a connection between happy customers and happy employees. And bottom line is always important. By prioritizing service excellence, businesses can grow their revenues between 4 and 8% above market. So this is great news. You don't have to be slashing prices and doing big campaigns. It's about service excellence. But sadly, we are not quite getting it. A recent survey of utility providers said that they achieved this is in Jamaica, an average score of 54%. Well, where I work, where I used to work, that is just a bare scrape. Okay, so we need to be doing a lot better. So, I heard Dr. Ingleton talking about NHF, and I love that talk about them, because NHF and NHT are companies in the public sector that show that this is possible, but so many of our companies are not doing well. In fact, Lloyd B. Smith, we know is our popular columnist, published an article recently that said customer disservice is too rampant. And there are lots of other people who have negative things to say. So here we have this Life Over Jamaica. He says that customer service agents, whether by phone or in person, make it quite obvious to you that your problems are of no interest to them. Right? And this one I found was a fun one. Somebody sent this to me recently. It is a video by a British person, and I know some of you may have seen it because it was making the round, talking about living in Jamaica. And I circled some of the highlights. It says, we love bureaucracy and inefficiency. If we can require 10 different forms for one transaction, civil servants or bank officials love it. If they can up it to 20, they're ecstatic. Standing in line for hours because only 1 or 2 tellers are working at a given time is the norm. Try to call, welcome to voicemail limbo. So I hasten to say that I understand that regulations are required, particularly in the financial sector. But what about the voicemail? Why is it take so long? Why is it that, we never seem to have enough staff and so on? We are not doing well at service excellence. Now, I want to introduce you to a model that I'm sure some of us know already, the service profit chain. And we know that we want customer engagement because customer engagement is what is going to drive the dollars, profitability and growth. You see that is the final circle. But what we often miss is that customer engagement must come from employee engagement. There are several models that show this, and it makes sense because in service, we are directly interacting with customers. So if we fail to, if I'm not feeling good, I hate where I work, I hate my job, then what is the likelihood that I'm going to create a great customer experience and have an engaged customer? It's not likely to happen. But having said that, because, it's not rocket science, having said that, how do we engage employees? I want to suggest to us that this signpost indicates a little bit about where we are. Confused, lost, perplexed, bewildered, and you can read the rest. We are not quite sure exactly how to go about doing it. I did a radio program recently, and somebody asked me a question that I've been asked dozens of times. How do you reach this generation as if, it's a very different species? Well, I hope to demystify that today. But before we get into that, let's talk about what is employee engagement. Remember, employee engagement is a trigger that's going to lead to customer engagement. So we better understand employee engagement. Well, I love this model because it's fairly simple. It says we need to engage the head, the hands, and the heart. So the head, they need to be mentally engaged. Ken Carter has this lovely quote talking about organizational vegetables. I have met organizational vegetables in retail and organizations where you're talking to them and you might as well be talking to a cement wall. We want engaged employees who are thinking, coming up with solutions, etc., thinking with their head. We want people who bring energy and commitment and drive. So again, I want you to picture those people who, when you ask them something, they, do you have this shoe in a size 8? They drag themselves around the back and they come back and, or there's no interest in it. We want that energy, that commitment. And then we want the passion, the loyalty, hi, Dr. Crick, how are you? When last did I see you? We want that level of engagement. So how do we get it? First thing I want to say to you is one of my favorite expressions. Work with the people that you have, not the people that you wish that you had. So my job has helped me I need to work with mostly younger people. And one of the things that I've really begun to realize is they're just not like me. They're very different. So if I am to reach them, I need to understand where they are at. And that's a mistake I think many of us as leaders do. As leaders, we're often very focused on saying, okay, I want people to be the way I would be. No, let's work with who we have. And that's what I want to spend the rest of my presentation doing. I am a believer in culture. And culture is simply the way we do things around here. So if we want engagement, we want to do things around here that are going to get us engaged. So Google is your friend. So I went and I looked at Google and typed in the words, give me an image for Jamaican culture. And this is the image it gave me. And this is a lovely image, people in the, national costume, and we have the drum in the back and, all the energy and excitement, except that this is not really representative, I think, of the range of Jamaican culture. In fact, we're having this burning debate going on right now about emancipation and independence. And, I had to say to a friend recently, I said, I'd love to hear the opinion of somebody under 60, because, those of us who are over 60 are, we must hold a holiday sacred and so on. And there's another generation with a totally different perspective. So let's look at the people that we have. See them here, bottom right. This is Ding Dong. Well, we're going to end with Ding Dong. This is the energy, the excitement. So nothing is wrong with the first slide. But if we're talking to people who are in that generation and focusing on that generation, we are missing what is happening in another generation. Part of what we absolutely must do is to transmit our values, our mission, and our vision. But the way we transmit it has to be different. So imagine that you go to a foreign country and you are speaking one language and you're not like, what's going on? I'm talking and talking and nobody's getting it. Well, perhaps because they are speaking a different language. And that's what I think we need to understand. And that's what I want to share with us as we talk about employee engagement. So I'm going to ask you to bear with me. I'm going to have some music and talk. I'm going to use the music to speak to us. This one will not actually have any music because Mr. Popcorn was a little bit spicy. So I couldn't put, have the actual lyrics, have him singing. But I wanted you to take a look at the words that he has here. Watch who you tell when you buy a new bimmer. Careful who you confide in. I know anybody pour my drinks. I know anybody buy my dinner. So hard to trust your enemy. Hard to trust your friend. So that last part really gets to my heart. Hard to trust your friend. Now, what does this tell us? We have a trust deficit that's going to affect any message. So you could be talking in English and the person is not hearing one word because they are thinking, I don't trust your generation. I don't trust your business. I think you're exploitative and so on. We do have a trust deficit. UWI has done some studies and they have found that most Jamaicans do not trust anybody except they say their mother. They don't trust the police. They don't trust a politician. I don't say this with any joy, but that's the reality. So when we are trying to connect with our line employees, we need to understand that we can't just start talking. We have to build a bridge. No, I missed a step. So let me go back and fill in that step. We have to understand that our line employees or frontline employees are the first level of defense. So of course we have to pay attention to strategy. Of course we have to pay attention to the infrastructure and all those beautiful things. But in the end, when I go to Digicel or UE or NCB, I am dealing with a frontline employees. When I go to Ping, I'm dealing with a frontline employee. That person is a brand representative for me. So I think that we do not pay enough attention to those individuals, and we don't understand that we have to double, triple, multiply by 100 the level of training and energy we put into getting them engaged, because those are the people who are going to make or break you. And here we have Popcorn saying, no, we're in a generation that does not trust. So we cannot just assume that a message that we give will be well received. We have to create the foundation. And how do we create the foundation? We create it by building relationships. So let me show you a model that speaks to that. Trustworthiness, it says, depends on credibility, reliability, intimacy divided by self-orientation. So are we credible managers, right? Do people believe in us? Do we look like we know what we're talking about, right? That's really important. So in the hotel industry, one of the things they would like to know, can you carry a tray, or are you just telling me to do it, right? Do you have the creds? Are you reliable? If you say you're going to do something, do you actually do it, or did you forget or deliberately mislead me? Intimacy. Are you connected with me in any way, shape, or form? And finally, self-orientation. Do you only want to exploit me, and I mean that in the positive and the negative sense, or do you care about me? If you see me looking sick or tired or frustrated, are you pouring into me, or are you like, well, Keisha, I need you on the front line no matter what? People are paying attention to that. So we have to build that trust. And the sad thing about trust, you can't build it overnight. It may take weeks, months, because remember, they're coming in with a trust deficit. So we have to actually create that trust for them. And the sadder thing is that you can lose it in a minute. So the day that you do not do what you said that you would do, then you are in a problem. All right, so I'm now going to move to my next song, and I'm praying and hoping that we'll be able to hear it. Easy road, many say they come and they think so they think I made a rose. They say, who feels it knows? Whoa, not every so state is closed. I cry, it's not an easy road. Many say they come and they think I made a rose. They say, who feels it knows? Whoa, not every so state is closed. All right. So that was Buju telling us it's not an easy road. So let me come back to our frontline employees. We do not often understand how especially those of us who have been on the front line for a while, how difficult it is to manage the front line. You're dealing with what do we know about service? We know about it being variable. We know about it being easy to make mistakes, and you are making those mistakes in front of the customer. We know that some of our customers can be, let's call a thing. They can be unreasonable. They will come in their lunch hour and or at the end of the month, say at tax office, and be enraged that everybody else has often chosen it. chosen that time to come, and they're going to take it out on the service employee, and they're going to say some things that are not so wonderful and are not so nice. It's not an easy road. It's not an easy road to, live in a community. Well, maybe there was curfew and there were gunshots, and I have to come in and I have to smile. And as the song says, who feels it knows it. Help me to sustain those blows. So one of the things I discovered in some research I did is that many managers are not good at helping people sustain these blows. They're just saying, like, suck it up. But people are people. They're going to have these things. So let us understand that for the service employee, we have to help them to be able to manage. But I found, again, in research that I did, that a lot of managers were depending on this thing called home training. So they kind of skipped a step because you're on the front line. So, and by the way, I am not speaking about, say, the BNSs and the Graces and so on. I'm speaking about the majority of our organizations, which are small organizations. But even some of the bigger ones, you have to wonder sometimes. They are depending on people coming to the workplace already equipped. And they use this term that you see here, home training. Well, home training is so wonderful if, as you see the images that I have here, we have, mommy and daddy and grandpa pouring into us and so on. But let's be real. For many people, that is not the situation. They may come from broken homes. They may come from homes where some of them have actually brought themselves up. But in any case, how can I depend on a home that I don't know? I mean, if it's one thing, if it's my bestie's children, yeah, sure, I can hire them because I know my bestie and how she raised her children. But can you just be depending on a random Mrs. Campbell or Mr. Brown to have raised it? So we have to invest in our service employees so that they know what to do, because it's not an easy road. We have to hire them. As we hire them, we have to train them fully. So I'm very against this idea of training them on the job facing the customer. I don't want, when I go to a supermarket, to see the little trainee sign, and then that means that she's going to be asking a question, how I do this, or the training session is going to be taking place there. I mean, we just had Dr. Ingleton, and when you go to the cosmetology or whatever the new name is, that's what you're signing up for. That's not what I'm signing up for when I go to, a routine thing. So we have to train them before they face the customer. We have to constantly train them. So we have to do refresher training because people forget. It's not an easy road. So life out there rough, and they come in and they can be a little bit rough. You have to kind of remind them that this is the way we do things. So things like, daily lineups are wonderful for that. And very importantly, the last bullet, we have to train them in dealing with customers who are difficult, the challenges, and so on. What do you do when, there's been an island-wide outage and people are just frustrated and so on? We have to train them how to do it, because some of the time, the reason that they are so rough is because they themselves are confused. I don't know what to say to this person, so I just respond in anger. We have to spend the time to do the training. All right, so let me move to my next song.
Who knows? I just go where the trade wind blows, sending love to my friends and foes. And I suppose I'm pleased to be chilling in the West Indies. I provide all my wants and needs. I got the sunshine, rivers and trees. Release,
when me see Jah, me see a way. Drastically straight from hypocrisy, I say, hey. Every man to them own a philosophy. I live the proper way and then me read a chapter daily. When they in a city hungry and no eat, and put they down a country just a drop off of the tree there. You see, say poverty no real then, is what the reason revealing.
Okay, so I hope you realize from that a theme I already spoke to, the distrust, poverty no real then, because I see fruit in the trees when I go to the country. So people are doing okay. So how come we're hungry? So that's the first thing. As I said, there's that level of distrust. But some other themes that came out of Chronixx and Protege, I just go where the trade wind blows. And that is something you have to be careful of, because Generation Z, which is a generation most likely to be on the front line, because I'm not on the front line. I haven't been for decades, but somebody in their 20s or even their late teens, this is the kind of way they think. I will respond according to my feelings, and Jah provide all my wants and needs. I got the sunshine, river, and trees. Let me say something that Deloitte and Touche did a study where they found that Generation Z is the generation that is the least influenced by money. So my generation and generations before me, they say that we, let me say it right now, they say that we live to work. So we throw everything into our job. This Generation Z, and it started with the millennials, they work to live. So work is just means to end. And I'm not asking, I'm telling. I met two young ladies in two different countries where that is well represented. A Jamaican young lady who I met in a hospitality organization, she said that she'd been there for a year and basically she's soon leaving. She was senior professional, and she said because she owns very little, she says, I have a suitcase and a box that I leave at my mother's house, and then I go travel the world once I have enough money, and when I run out I come back. I was in Colombia this summer. I met a young British woman who was doing the exact same thing. She was working in a medical establishment. She left and she was traveling South America for a year. And when her money ran out, she was going to go back, work some more, and then she'd be out. So you cannot motivate this generation by money, and you cannot scare them by saying, well, do it or you lose a job. So we have to understand that we are going to lose them unless we're connecting with them on their level. And I want to just say one more thing from this song. Every man to their own philosophy, I say. Now, that should make you feel a little scared, because in your workplace, you need some standards. So again, back to the training, because we have to pay attention to that. I want to move quickly to talk about another Jamaican artist, and let him talk.
Let me start that one here. Like how Martin Luther King would have started. My dream, my dream, my dream, my dream, my dream. Tell you my dream is to live my dream. Hear the most high in my sleep when me say. Tell you my goal, my goal, my goal. All of my goal is to reach my goal. Live a happy life, put it on me headstone. Nobody know me cry over me dead.
Okay, so Nesbeth is talking about my dream is to live my dream. That's a very basic thing, but it connects with what I said earlier, that their dreams are not necessarily our dreams. So we realize that, we talk in Jamaica a lot now about the birth rate falling, but also I found that a lot of younger people I interact with, they are deliberately houseless because the mortgage becomes like a millstone around their neck if they want to do something else. What are their dreams, and how can we help them to understand that how they can live their dream through our organizations? So we're going to have to again rethink. So we talk about the cafeteria approach, the benefits that might appeal to me. I can get a low mortgage and I can get this health plan and so on. That's not what's necessarily going to engage your younger people. So you have to think about how can I engage them? And the only way I know to find that out is to ask them. We do a lot of assumption about we understand their needs. But if we can help them to self-actualize through our organization, we are going to be able to tap into that reservoir of energy. right? And as we talk about that, we have to think about aligning our incentive programs. Some of them, as I said, are not connected. We need to motivate and excite them, and we need to catch people doing something right. So we have a dream for how we want our organization to work. We want them to connect with that dream as well. And then this will be my final one. This is, as I said, we're going to end with Ding Dong. All right. So I have a few things to say about Ding Dong.
Your business. All right. Stir fry. Stir fry. Stir fry. Manage to go there. Stir fry. Stir fry. The dance back. Yo, now I'm a lie. Let go deeper. 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 All right. Right for what? Right for what? Real guys and I take certain time. Right for what? Right for what? Right for what? Making dog them burn. Happiness. Whoa. We are here on the witches. One of your friends, one of bad mind. We don't want no friendship from them. Sing again.
Okay, confession. I cannot do one of those dances because if you notice, in Jamaica, we change our dance every 2 months. Recently, I was looking at a video that showed how to do the drift. I'm telling you, I think it's easier to launch a space shuttle than to learn the drift. Certainly the way he taught it, he had an easy version and a hard version, but people learn it. Complexity, we can learn when we want to. So how are we connecting with our frontline employees, this next generation? How are we making learning exciting? Notice also from the video, and I wanted to end with that happiness part of it, because that's what we want. We want that joie de vivre, because that's why we get millions of tourists coming to Jamaica, despite all the advisories and so on. There's a certain love and energy and vibrancy that we have, but then somehow we kill it in the workplace. We want to make this be part of our DNA. So I had a colleague from the Bahamas, and he was working on this idea of work as John Canoe, because his idea was that John Canoe in the Bahamas is this huge thing where, you know, it's kind of like it's their carnival. So people go and do their costumes, they'll work on them through the night, and they'll have all this energy. And he's like, where is this energy when it comes to work? So this is what I would say to us. Where is the energy that we take into creating these dances and learning these dances and dancing till we drop? Where's that energy when it comes to work? Maybe we are doing something wrong, right? We cannot just depend on them. So as I sum up, our DNA as a nation is changing. So we have to change too. We can't do things the way we have always done them. And by the way, we can't just cut and paste from another country. We have to do what feels right with us. We cannot paper over who we are and just, fingers crossed that it will work. We are a people of rhythm and energy, but we have to channel it. So, obviously we can't have people drifting and, dancing through the workplace, but can they bring that energy to it? What can we do? There are many things that we can do. We just have to be creative. We need to understand their underlying issues and concerns. They're not trusting us. So we have to address that and stop skipping around it. Service excellence has to begin with tapping into our natural joie de vivre, our values, because you have to not depend on their values. As we said, we have to give them our values, but we have to do them in a way that resonates with them and that they can answer the question, why should I listen to what you're saying? And finally, if you don't remember anything else, please remember, we have to listen and learn rather than just keep talking. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you enjoyed.
We absolutely enjoyed it. You had me drifting, stir frying, and doing all sorts of things up in here. But I tell you, it resonated and certain with all of us this morning. It's a very culturally relevant presentation that you gave. And it's going to stick in our minds. Our DNA is changing. So we have to change and channel some of this energy that we have into the workspace as well. Thank you so very much for that amazing presentation, Dr. Crick. And we hope you stay with us for the rest of the activities. I tell you, this conference has been absolutely amazing. And I was thinking earlier, and I think I dropped it in the private chat, about the fact that this conference is like a Venn diagram. I see every element of it coming together and intersecting with each other. And what an amazing experience you're all allowing us to have. Thank you so very much once again. Before I move on to our next presenters, and we have a little bit of a video to share with you as well, I think it's time I give something away. It is 3 minutes past 11. We're also going to have to play catch up in terms of time, but that's fine. Time, I tell you, will fly away when we're having fun. Yes, but I'm going to throw something in there for you because I know you look forward to this as well. And so whip your flow phones out and get ready. Are you ready? Okay, I am ready. Here we go. 522-679-418. 41818. And you heard right. Those numbers, the sequence, not a mistake. So that is the flow voucher number. We're going to move to Digicel, and just remind you that what you do is you drop, if you have won the credit, you just drop it in the comment box so we can pick up and, of course, congratulate you on having won, and just to make sure that somebody actually won it. So here we go now with Digicel, and both of these $200 credit. Are you ready? Yes, you are. 950-864-919-770. And we round out with the number 9. All right, so that's it in terms of credit. And we are going to move now to our video presentation from one of our gold sponsors, National Commercial Bank.
So I've been an NCB customer for as long as I can remember. I've had a long-standing banking relationship with NCB. I really have.
Oh Lord, NCB generally or NCB IA?
So I've been an NCB customer for the last 4 years.
I don't remember the year, but it's been long. I've had an account for years now.
The last product I received from NCB was a loan. I own a 6-acre property, so I'm actually using that money to help me further push my goal and my dream. So it has been great.
I realized that NCB was having a promotion with the car dealership that I was interested in getting my car from. So it was bingo from there. It was like, it's up.
So the last product that we would have received was a Keyman Insurance. I suppose I'm a key man in the company. That's when we were introduced to the wonderful agent, Moya, who actually assisted me in that entire process.
It was so seamless. I am shocked to this day. My banker is Ian Cook. Let us just say that Ian exemplifies customer service. He is extremely good. So customer service for me means being reliable.
It's about going that extra mile. That's what good customer service is.
With Ian, he ensured that I understood the process. He answered all my questions.
Maya is a one-stop shop. Keep on being who you are. Keep on going the extra mile. The world needs more people like you who are willing to add more, add value, willing to go the extra mile, and just know that you're appreciated for it.
I would definitely recommend NCB to others based on my experience. I can't speak of all the branches of NCB, but as it pertains to the loan, if Ian is the representative for all NCB, then most definitely.
Ian Cook, big up yourself. You are amazing. Thank you so much for everything that you did for me. You made this process seamless, and I am very happy that I was introduced to you to do this loan. Big up NCB straight. I'm happy.
Well, ain't that a wonderful representation of excellent customer service when it is that you can get great service and you tell the story. Absolutely fantastic. And we say thank you to NCB for supporting us to bringing those stories forward. Absolutely wonderful. They're telling their stories and we're telling ours here today. We have lots more to go, but let me just pause to acknowledge our sponsors: Public Sector Modernization Division in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, RGR Gleaner Communications Group, the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, Rhythm FM, and the Caribbean Center for Organization Development Excellence Limited, CARICODE, are all partners. And then in terms of our gold sponsors, we have National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited, the Bank of Nova Scotia Jamaica Limited, Jamaica Public Service Company Limited in the silver category, alongside VM Group, National Housing Trust as well. And then in the bronze category, JMMB, National Health Fund, Guardian Life Jamaica, Jamaica National Group, Burt's Auto Parts Limited, Tourism Enhancement Fund, Restaurant Associates Limited, the Bone and Joint Center, JN Fund Managers, and we thank as well Mr. Terence Lawrence. And I should point out to you that the Public Sector Modernization Division and the RGR Gleaner Communications Group are platinum sponsors of our conference. I tell you, we've been having an absolutely fantastic time. There is joy in the place, when you're enjoying what you're doing. And so we're going to add another circle to the Venn diagram now. That's the way we're doing it here for this JAXA conference. 2024 is the 21st conference. Yes, conference has come of age. Can't start drinking. No, don't do that. Because I don't want you to drink and drive. But what I want to tell you is that we are recognizing what we need to be doing to ensure that we have excellent customer service. And what a way to go. All the speakers have so far been wonderful. And so we're moving on now, as we are going to be having another feature for you, customer service certification, as a former valedictorians share their success stories. They're telling us why it is they are who they are and how it is they got to where they are. Yes, I think we want to make sure that we just share the stories so you can understand exactly what is going on. And of course, we want to hear your stories as well. So drop your information in the comments. By the way, if you have won either one of the two cards that we gave out earlier in terms of credit, please let us know. Let's go over now to that feature on customer service certification as former valedictorians share their success stories.
Hello, everyone, and happy Customer Service Week. My name is Donetta Russell, and I'm the Assistant General Manager in charge of Human Capital Management at the NHD. And I'm a proud past valedictorian from one of the earlier cohorts of the Customer Service Certification Program hosted by JAXA. When my company selected me to join the program as part of our broader customer service improvement plan, I didn't quite know just how much I would gain. But I must tell you that I did benefit from the knowledge and expertise of the seasoned facilitators and the shared perspectives of the cohort. One of the standout features was how culturally relevant it was. There was an entire module dedicated to the Caribbean perspective, which really resonated with me. This was not just another off-the-shelf program, but it took into account our natural affinity for service delivery as Caribbean people, which is evident in our ability to quickly connect and engage with others. And for me, the biggest point of learning was understanding the lifetime value of a customer. It's not just about the now, it's about building lasting relationships and the value associated with that. And this is particularly important in the current context of the growth of small businesses. It is gaining a customer now to benefit from them for a lifetime. And of course, the golden rule of customer service never goes old. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. and as an added benefit, the opportunity to network with other customer service providers from across the country was priceless. And let's get real. Having customer service certified behind your name was an added plus. This is a serious badge of honor that signals that you understand the principles and practices of customer service excellence. So if you are ready to up your customer service game as an individual, or to broaden your vision of service delivery as an organization, then JATSA has a program just for you.
I would encourage anyone to do the Jamaica Customer Service Association Certified Customer Service course. When I started, I enjoyed or appreciate the camaraderie among the different facilitators, how things were done seamlessly with regards to the topics and the topics that we looked on. And one of the things that I really liked as well is the fact that it wasn't just mainly international, but we also look at how customer service affected or have an impact on the Caribbean. Additionally, I also appreciate how the facilitators were able to have each person learn and work individually and at the same time work as a team. We learn about the Vision 2030 as well for Jamaica and how customer service ties back into this Vision 2030. But what was most important or impactful for me as an individual was my ability to learn more about customer service, the importance of customer service, and how I could tie this back into my business or my job at the time. And what I was able to do was I was able to utilize customer service as one of the competitive advantages for the organization that I worked with at that time, and currently utilizing it as a competitive advantage for my organization. Additionally, I was able to utilize it and tying it back to, as you know, quote unquote, and this is more like a marketing thing, the 7 Ps, where I focus on people and look at how I could utilize people to add value to a person's customer experience. So I would encourage anyone at all to utilize or to partake or to do the course, the customer service course that the Jamaica Customer Service Association puts on. It's a very good course. You can learn a lot from it. And trust me, it is value for money. So don't delay. I think you should partake of this particular program today. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. The proof of the pudding, they say, is in the eating. And so we thank the individuals who graduated from the program for sharing their wonderful experiences with us. And we're ticking right along. I know you're very excited, but we're going to share one more video with you before we go on to our next presentation. We have our panelists standing by, and I know it's going to be exciting, but we want to hear from another of our sponsors, also in the gold category, Scotiabank.
Hello, everyone. Greetings from Scotiabank Group Jamaica. I am Yvette Anderson, Vice President, Customer Experience and Advocacy. It's our absolute pleasure to partner with the Customer Service Association of Jamaica to celebrate National Customer Service Week, embracing the theme, Service Excellence, taking Jamaica above and beyond. We commend the association's effort to elevate the standard of service nationwide and to inspire organizations to prioritize customer satisfaction. This partnership is quite fitting because at Scotiabank, the delivery of an exceptional customer experience is a key strategic imperative for us. We believe that every client interaction is an opportunity for us to build lasting trust and lasting relationships with our clients. This week is an opportunity for us all to reflect on the vital role exceptional service plays in our success. For over 135 years, we have promoted a culture that ensures that the voices of our customers are at the heart of everything that we do. One way in which we have achieved this is through our Pulse program, which enables us to get unbiased and timely feedback from our clients, and which has empowered us to continuously make significant investments that enhance our client experience and service delivery. Yes, we are committed to making it easy for our clients to do business with us. As we join forces with organizations across the nation to celebrate National Customer Service Week, we reaffirm our national commitment to raising the bar for service in Jamaica in support of our country's overall growth and development. At Scotiabank, we believe that service excellence is quintessential to growth and development. This week, we celebrate also our staff members whose dedication continues to ensure that Scotiabank continues to be the financial institution of choice across Jamaica. Again, on behalf of the Scotia Group, thank you. Thank you for taking this journey with us and the Customer Service Association of Jamaica. Let us continue to work together to take Jamaica above and beyond in service excellence. Thank you.
And we thank you as well, Scotiabank, for supporting us in our efforts. JAXA has been very thrilled to work with you and look forward to continuing to work with you. And thank you for your contribution to this, the 21st annual conference of the Jamaica Customer Service Association. All right, so are you ready? I am certainly ready to add more to this Venn diagram, which is absolutely amazing what has been happening. So we're moving into the section of the program where we're going to be focused on customer service certification, the impact on organizations and the Caribbean region. And this is our panel discussion. And to lead this conversation is our moderator, Dr. Corrente McDonald. Corrente McDonald earned her PhD in organizational behavior from the University of the West Indies, UWI, in 2020. Prior to attending the UWI, she attended the University of Salford, Manchester, England, and the University of North London, where she attained an MBA and a BA with honors in tourism management, respectively. When not operating in the academic arena, Corrente functions as a process consultant in organizations. Dr. McDonald is passionate about the psychological health and well-being of organizational members and how this affects their ability to live healthy and happy lives while remaining productive. You now understand why we're talking about this Venn diagram, because it is all coming together so beautifully. Dr. McDonald will introduce her panelists, so I'm handing things over now to her. Welcome, Dr. McDonald.
Thank you so much, Althea. It's a pleasure to be here. And we're going to just jump right into our activities. This morning, we're running a little bit behind, and I know we are planning to make up, but let's just jump into the introduction of our panelists. The panelists will highlight a pathway and illustrate the importance of skilling through training and certification to gain a comparative edge and achieve competitive advantage. We will proceed accordingly. So there are 3 panelists. I will introduce each panelist and thereafter invite each person to speak for approximately 10 minutes. We'll then move into a Q&A session wherein you may pose questions to specific panelists. Please say the name of the panelist you wish to address. Okay, so our first panelist to be introduced is Ms. Shirley Bridgman, who is the chairman of the College of Insurance Professionals. With over 30 years of extensive experience in the general insurance industry at various levels, Ms. Shirley Bridgman possesses a wealth of experience. Her comprehensive background includes proficiency in customer service, general insurance operations, training, sales, and marketing. Ms. Bridgman is driven by a passion for service excellence and demonstrates a robust foundation in customer service and people management. Currently, she serves as the Chief Executive Officer of Caribbean Insurance Brokers Limited and formerly as Vice President of Customer Service Experience and Marketing at Guardian General Insurance Jamaica Limited. Ms. Bridgman's leadership and strategic acumen have been invaluable. Ms. Bridgman holds the esteemed positions of board member of the Jamaica Customer Service Association, chairman of the board at the College of Insurance and Professional Studies, and an executive director of Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited. Ms. Bridgman will share on the importance of certification to the insurance industry. She will also highlight the collaboration between JAXA and CARICODE and the College of Insurance Professionals in offering the customer service program. All right, our second panelist is Dr. Lainey Oakley Williams, she is Senior General Manager of Customer Relations Management Division at the National Housing Trust. Dr. Oakley Williams, is the General Manager of the Customer Relations Management Division at the National Housing Trust, a position she has held since May 2010, having been a valued member of the organization since 2004. A specialist in business leadership and management, Dr. Oakley Williams earned her doctorate in business administration and her master's in business administration from Nova Southwestern University. She also holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Minnesota. Dr. Oakley actively contributes to various boards, including the Jamaica Customer Service Association and the St. Andrew High School Board. She is the immediate past chairman of the Jamaica Customer Service Association and also serves as a Justice of the Peace for the Parish of St. Andrew. She will share her experience as a senior manager, having been a participant in JAXA's customer service program, and which will show the impact that training has had on NHT performance in the country's development. Our final panelist, Miss Lorraine Glasgow, is the General Manager Marketing at British Caribbean Insurance Company. With over 20 years of experience, Lorraine is a senior executive passionate about building strong relationships and driving business growth. She has a proven track record of success in senior leadership roles in insurance, telecommunications, and consumer goods, where she has consistently championed customer experience as a key driver of business success. With a track record of success in driving growth and innovation for global brands, Ms. Glasgow brings a wealth of knowledge in creating and implementing customer-focused initiatives that deliver measurable results. She has spearheaded numerous projects to enhance customer satisfaction, improve service delivery, and build lasting customer relationships. Currently, Ms. Glasgow serves as General Manager Marketing at leading general insurer, BCIC, and board member for a leading broadcaster, a bean to bar chocolate manufacturer, and a roadside assistance company. Ms. Glasgow actively contributes to shaping customer-centric strategies that drive brand loyalty and business growth. Her expertise in leveraging customer insights to inform product development service improvements, and marketing strategies has been instrumental in elevating the customer experience across sectors. Today, Ms. Glasgow will share her perspectives as a member of a private sector organization, highlighting the importance of training and certification through developing the whole organization in customer service to gain a competitive edge. All right, so there are those are our three panelists. I will now invite Ms. Shirley Bridgman for to deliver her 10-minute presentation. Ms. Bridgman? Not hearing you. You're muted.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. McDonald. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Is everyone still awake? I know it's coming up close to lunchtime. Is everyone getting hungry? So, ladies, we have to keep everybody focused and let them just power through that last bit to get to lunchtime, right? So we're going to try and do that, right, ladies? Right. Okay. Good morning again. It is a privilege to be here today representing the College of Insurance and Professional Studies to discuss an initiative that is deeply aligned with the insurance industry's mission to develop leaders and service champions for Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. The Customer Service Certification Program, Caribbean Perspective Through the Customer's Eyes, developed by CariCode in partnership with JAXO and the College of Insurance and Professional Studies, is not just another program. It is a strategic alignment aimed at transforming how we approach customer service in our region, and it couldn't be more timely. We're currently in the second cohort, and it has been an enjoyable and extensive, knowledgeable experience, as has been expressed by some of our graduates. The aim of this program is necessary as it seeks to present a cultural perspective using the indigenous illustrations and examples to heighten our collective consciousness of what it means to deliver world-class service. In a region as culturally diverse and dynamic as the Caribbean, we have various cultures, we operate differently. We cannot simply adopt service strategies designed for other parts of the world. Instead, we must build on our own cultural strengths whilst addressing our unique challenges, and we certainly have those unique challenges, to create service champions who understand and empathize with our customers in a distinctly Caribbean way. At the College of Insurance, we are committed to producing professionals who not only excel in their technical knowledge, but also to embody the principles of service excellence. This program aligns perfectly with that goal. By integrating a Caribbean perspective into customer service training, we're cultivating leaders who can bring this deeper understanding into their respective industries and organizations, including insurance, where customer service plays a critical role in client satisfaction and retention. A couple of the objectives of the program and how it provides value to both the participants and the organizations. Firstly, the program encourages participants to identify some of the key influencers of Caribbean culture and the issues that impact customer service. From our unique history and diversity to our vibrant customs, there are many factors that shape how customers interact with the business in the Caribbean. Secondly, the program explores customer service standards and learn techniques to deliver empathetic world-class customer relationships. What sets world-class service apart is the ability to move beyond just customer expectation, but to truly understand and exceed their needs, creating experiences that are not just satisfactory, but especially in insurance, delightful. This is especially important because in insurance, trust and long-term relationships are important. Why is this so? Insurance is not tangible. It's a service. It's a promise. As such, relationships are key. Whilst we can purchase insurance online, the human interaction of knowing your customer, getting into your culture, taking the time, explaining to your customer the key terms, the benefits, the processes when they have a claim, and making that experience so delightful that they choose to come to you. A prime example of this is the international BPOs. International BPOs, they select Jamaica as one of their most viable destinations for call centers because of the warmth of our voice,
or delivery or unique culture instead of impersonal automated voice assistants. They want that Caribbean customer service experience, which we need to preserve. And this program assists in integrating our culture along with the high quality customer service mindset in businesses. One of the most important lessons of this program is the transition from a mindset of servitude to service. Too often in our region, in Jamaica, there has been a lingering mentality of servitude when it comes to customer interaction. A mentality of service is a duty rather than a choice. It's our choice. It's our choice to serve and to serve well. The program challenges us to break away from that mindset and embrace the concept of service as empowerment. When we serve from a place of pride and ownership, we don't just meet expectations. We create positive, memorable customer experience that set the Caribbean service apart on the world stage, moving Jamaica above and beyond. Value-adding service of the program. Through this program, participants learn techniques that add to the customer service value. For example, emotional intelligence. This emotional intelligence plays a critical role in navigating challenging customer interactions. In the insurance sectors, we face stressful or emotional situations every day, especially when a customer has to file a claim, whether it's a motor vehicle accident, burial just passed the other day, a disaster. Having service professionals who can handle these situations with empathy and understanding is invaluable. We almost become like nurses and doctors and therapists. We have to know how to deal with our customers and embrace this customer service culture. It helps to manage difficult customer relations effectively, turning potential dissatisfaction into opportunities for building stronger trust-based relationships and future customers. One of the key elements of this program is the focus on seeing service through the customer's eyes. Putting yourself in the customer's shoe. The perspective shift is critical. It is easy for organizations to become so focused on processes and targets that they forget to think about the experience from the customer's point of view. When we engage our customers and design services that meet their needs and exceeds them, we create the kind of positive, memorable customer experience that leads to brand loyalty, repeat business, and glowing word-of-mouth referrals. And as we know, what better marketing is there than word-of-mouth referrals? For the insurance industry, this perspective is especially important. Our graduates must be able to interact with clients in a way that not only helps them understand complex policies and coverage, but also reassures them, make them feel valued and respected in every transaction. Lastly, the program examines customer service standards, benchmark, and practices that are essential for fostering professionalism and communication excellence. And as we know, you have to be communicating with your customer. You know, the customer in insurance, yes, the claim may take X amount of weeks to be settled. Sometimes that's okay once we're communicating with our customer. These standards are necessary not only to meet, but to exceed Vision 2030 objectives for Jamaica and the broader CARICOM region. Another dynamic aspect of this program is that it not just lectures, but it has interactive methodologies. It includes discussion. It even includes role plays and practical experiences. In closing, I'd like to reiterate the immense value of this program, which brings to the College of Insurance and Professional Studies our students and the broader Caribbean community I personally fully endorse this program, as it is not just training service providers, but it cultivates service champions who will lead the way in making the Caribbean a beacon of world-class customer service in insurance. To all our participants who are interested, I encourage you to contact JAXA or the college and take full advantage of this program. Learn from it, engage with it, and bring these principles back to your organization. To our graduates who will be graduating later today, congrats on taking this milestone step on fostering excellent customer service. Let us together make the Caribbean known for its ability to deliver positive, memorable customer experience and set ourselves apart as leaders in service excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bridgman. That is, thank you so very much. That was pretty insightful. And we now move to our second presenter, Dr. Lainey Oakley-Williams, and she'll be sharing a brief PowerPoint presentation. Over to you, Dr. Oakley-Williams.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am hoping, there we have it. The presentation is there. All right, so I'll be speaking a little bit about service excellence, taking Jamaica above and beyond, elevating our organizational excellence. And I must say, I really enjoyed Dr. Crick's presentation and the Buju song that she had, because the staff do have a lot of challenges and it is up to us to help. I particularly enjoyed Sherry's presentation about the training from JAXA. And it's a good launching point into our own experience at the NHT. You would have heard, for example, Donetta Russell, who is the head now of our human resource area, what we call human capital management, where she spoke about her own experience. She, as the head of HR, has been a graduate of the Jamaica Customer Service Association, and myself and many of the persons in customer service, we have benefited from the Carry Code and Jamaica Customer Service experience. Very, very strategic because it impacts our organizational success and we create a very dynamic workforce. Now, we have particular commitment at the NHT to training and development. And we have found that this not only influences our individual targets, but our department targets and also our entire NHT, all our targets. And of course, this must help with the country's development, because when we provide excellent service, then it helps with Jamaica. So recently we have attained ISO 9001:2015 and certification. I just want to thank Dr. Jaja, who was our coach and consultant throughout that experience. It was dynamic. And I don't want to digress too much, but let me tell you, we started the ISO 9001:2015 process in 2020 in the midst of COVID. We said to ourselves, we don't want to come out of COVID the same way we went into COVID. And so we went through this certification experience, and the staff were really committed to this process. We also won the inaugural public sector productivity competition. And we believe that this was a direct result of the focus on continuous improvement, which is one of the standard 10 in the ISO 9001:2015 competition. So let us look, for example, how we won this public sector productivity competition. We looked at what we call our special assistance program. We all know that we live in an environment where not everybody has the money to pay their bills on time. And so we find that some of our customers, they're not able to meet their monthly obligations. So we looked at this process because we wanted to make it easier. We wanted it to be more efficient, and we wanted to be responsive to the needs of customers. So any of you out there, you have your mortgage to pay and you're not able to meet it, just contact us. We have our special assistance program. So when the productivity center came to the NHT and they said, all right, which process do you want to look at? We chose this one. They came, they looked at it at the base of it and said, okay, this is where you are now. They gave us some time to fix it. And then they came back and they graded us, and we actually won the competition. Our staff were very committed to the process. We saw process improvement, skills development, job enrichment. We had employee engagement, customer satisfaction, and improved efficiency just from that process. So why did we choose the ISO 9001:2015? We saw the many benefits. There are benefits to the customers, improved customer satisfaction. We saw that the experience that they had was better, that they could understand the quality system that we had. They understood our mandate. We also saw from the employees, they were excited about their job. In fact, just the implementation alone, persons were excited. They wanted to learn more. It enhanced communication as well, because we had to communicate. For the organization, it improved our operational efficiency. It enhanced our risk management. A lot of times we're just talking about risk. One of the things ISO 9001:2015 introduced to the NHT is the whole issue of opportunities, not just risk, but opportunities. And so how can, for example, technology help us? Is that an opportunity that we can have better customer service? Then we also found that it improved our culture. Listen, when you start an ISO 9001:2015 process in COVID, you are going to find resistance. But because of how dynamic it was, because of how exciting it was, again, Dr. Jaja and her team, we found that the entire organization, they were energized around the process as well. So there are benefits even during the training. Now, how did the staff buy into the journey of quality? First of all, I would like to say that the NHT staff are some of the best staff you'll ever find anywhere in this side of the universe, right? So there's already in the DNA of the NHT staff that focus on customer service. But what else did we do? We incorporated the standards in our operational plans and also in our policies. We changed the mindset of the staff. We didn't want to look at ISO 9001:2015 as a project. We wanted to look at it as a way of life, something that we do naturally. We also enhanced our communication skills. So you just communicate what you're going to communicate. You communicate what you're communicating, and after that, you check to see if persons understand. And of course, at the heart of it is the leadership's commitment. So all our managers, all our supervisors, myself, our managing director, were all part of a team that wanted to communicate and engage the staff, that this was very important. Some strategies that we had our ISO quality ambassadors. So in every parish, we have these ambassadors. They are excited about the process. They have the best ideas. And when you get the staff involved, you find that the quality of the ideas to serve customers is more improved. We had our quality cards and our banners. We had workshops. We had our internal audit program where we audit ourselves as well. So we're not just waiting on an external person. We had further training and sensitization, and we had our check-in sessions. Now, we have found that all of this helped us to realize our competitive potential. Now, some persons would say, how is the NHT competing? We're competing on the basis of customer service. We want to make sure that we provide the best customer service in Jamaica, and in fact outside of Jamaica, because our benchmark is international. So we want to deliver quality service by emphasizing collaboration, and we're very pleased to be collaborating with the Jamaica Customer Service Association, looking at the customers' needs as well and their expectations, and of course measuring performance. So I'm almost wrapping up, but I just wanted to indicate that leaders have an important role to encourage a culture of quality. We need to lead by example, and I believe that the managers and the supervisors at the NHT have been doing that. They have exemplified this type of leadership. We have to promote continuous improvement, and we have been doing that, which is what led to winning the Jamaica Productivity Center's first competition. And it's not a one-off, because we are still looking at some of the processes to see how we can improve. And of course, we celebrate success. So yesterday we had our quality day, where we found the stars in every single parish, and we brought them into Kingston, and we had festivities celebrating them, giving them awards, and encouraging them for the work they have been doing in customer service. And finally, you'll see where we provide training and resources. So we want to again thank Dr. Jaja and the Jamaica Customer Service Association for their excellent training programs. We recommend it 100%, and we're looking forward to participating in future training activities. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Laney. Oakley Williams. Thank you so very much, and congratulations to the NHT for your excellent achievements. That is absolutely wonderful. All right, so our final panelist, quickly moving on to Miss Lorianne Glasgow, as she speaks to us about as a member of the private sector. All right, over to you, Ms. Glasgow.
Thank you, Dr. McDonald, and good morning to everyone. I'm pleased to be here today, and I have big shoes to fill. I have two presenters that had some excellent presentations. I was really riveted to hear, but I wanted to share with you our experience at BCIC. BCIC and JAXA have actually had a partnership since 2013, so a really long history and a great relationship. We've actually had over 200 past and present employees that have received this customer service and certification from JAXA. With such a long and successful relationship, it's really my honor to be here today sitting on this panel, and I'm excited to share our experience at BCIC and the importance that we place on training and certification in developing a really customer-centric organization. Actually, customer centricity is actually one of our core values here at BCIC. It's something that we celebrate, and we have a program called Living the Values. And so every time we see somebody living the values, and customer centricity is one of them, we celebrate them. And I think it's really important in driving that forward. Because at BCIC, we've really long recognized that our product isn't just an insurance policy. It's actually a promise. It's a promise of security, of support, and of course of service. And the key to delivering on that promise is our people. Because we deal with complex insurance products and claims processes that customers find often confusing and confounding. But if you have a knowledgeable and empathetic customer service team, they can make all the difference in building that trust and ensuring customers understand our products so they can make informed decisions and ultimately drive customer loyalty. At BCIC, we've made a strategic decision to invest in customer service training and certification for our entire staff, not just those on the front lines. Because service excellence isn't just a department, it's a mindset here. By ensuring all our employees receive the same high-quality training and certification, we aim to create a consistent customer experience across all our touch points. Because everyone at BCIC, from the claims department to the marketing team, everyone plays a role in the customer journey and the customer experience. Our partnership with JAXA has been instrumental in this endeavor. Their comprehensive programs have equipped our employees with the skills and knowledge to deliver outstanding service. In fact, one of the initiatives that we've recently embarked on is communicating to our customers in plain language. So what does that mean? It means no more insurance jargon, no legalese, just plain English in explaining things in their simplest terms. This isn't really an easy task, particularly for underwriters and claim handlers who have jargon and legalese ingrained in their very beings. But having the foundation of JAXA's customer service certification gave our team the tools needed to commit to this undertaking. It's a long journey, but I am pleased to share that we've already seen some fruits of our labor. Earlier this year, we rewrote some of our policy booklets in plain language, and we won an internationally recognized award called the Clearmark Award for our motor policy booklet. And both our home policy and motor policy booklets placed in the top 3 of 199 entrants in the overall category. So we're really, really proud. And the work continues, of course. This commitment to training and certification, along with other process improvements that we've made, have yielded other tangible results. We've seen a significant improvement in our Net Promoter, NPS, score, which we use as a key measure of customer satisfaction and loyalty. Our customers are expressing greater satisfaction with our services, and we're seeing a real reduction in complaints, propelling us to retain our position as the #1 general insurer in Jamaica. I actually just wanted to take a moment to share with you some recent NPS feedback we received These are in our customers' own words about why they rated their experience with us 10 out of 10. So this is the first one. I'm a stickler for proper customer service. However, I find that good customer service is not present in most Jamaican businesses. When I dealt with Sonia Reed, I was pleasantly surprised. She went above and beyond to assist me. More of Sonia is needed in businesses to keep customers coming back. I truly appreciate how kind Sonia was. Even in following up, she was on the ball. And then another customer wrote, Princess Parker was amazing. She was very facilitative and efficient with a very polite demeanor, and she's solution-oriented. I was able to renew my policy and have my certificate within 1 hour of speaking with her. And I just wanted to know, both Sonia and Princess have earned the JAXA customer service certification. So, just wrapping up, in today's competitive landscape where customers have so many choices, service excellence we see as a powerful differentiator. By investing in our employees' customer service skills, we're not just improving customer satisfaction, we're also building a stronger and more resilient organization. So in closing, I urge all of you, regardless of your industry, to embrace a culture of customer service excellence. Invest in your employees through training and certification with JAXA. Empower them to be brand ambassadors and create positive customer experience. It's an investment that will pay dividends for years to come. And with that, I'll close. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Lorianne. Excellent presentations, and thank you so very much for remaining within the time that has been allotted to you, which would have enabled us. I think hopefully we should keep within that 1 hour time that we have been allocated. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you'd have heard from three beautiful women as well, beautiful, but also very informed, very insightful, informed ladies with very insightful presentations on the value of customer service. But so we've heard from Sheryl Bridgman, who spoke on the, she actually spoke to, right. So she shared on the importance of certification to the insurance industry. And she spoke on the collaboration between the JAXA Carry Code and the College of Insurance. But she further went on to speak to the importance of those culture-specific issues that we talked about. And I heard Dr. Crick mention those issues, looking at the culture-specific factors, some of which we know are issues of trust and, and the issues of training. And we know many organizations will tell us that they're training, but unfortunately, sometimes we're not seeing the training coming across to, in the delivery of the service. So, we heard Ms. Bridgman talk about the issues like mindset change. You're changing employees, you're expecting employees to deliver a certain service, but you also want them to understand the importance of what they're doing and, delivery and how the importance that delivery is to the organization. So it's really understanding as well as not just doing, but also understanding. And we heard her talk about emotional intelligence, the importance of emotional intelligence, and showing customers that you actually value them. You value their service, and you empathize. Yeah, and these are very important factors. And I think sometimes we miss that from our, those persons we interact with in the organizations. And so customers, you end up going to somewhere because you're going somewhere because we live on an island, it's a small island, and we don't have too many competitors in certain areas. So you end up going to that particular organization, even though you're not happy with the service. We heard from Dr. Lainey Oakley-Williams. And, NHT seemed to be doing quite a lot, and achieving quite a lot. And what that said to me was the importance of, employees' involvement and their engagement in what, in the training, in the services being provided, in the special assistance program that they've done so well in and having won, an award. So we heard, highlights of the importance also of leadership and communication, and getting employees excited about delivering excellent customer service. So part of what we're hearing, the two ladies so far who've spoken, is the importance of employees feeling the energy, having pride, in what it is that they're offering. Then we heard from Miss Lorianne Glasgow, and she actually spoke about and I just say congratulations on the success of your publication. Well done. And it's always good to receive feedback from our customers. So she spoke about the importance of being customer centric. So the ladies really spoke to issues that we all are aware of, but we're not seeing. And so getting feedback, again, congratulations, from your customers says a whole lot about your company and says a whole lot about what you're offering. And the fact that your customers are wanting to come back to you, i.e., you're building customer loyalty, which I think, as you said, you're building brand loyalty. Your customers will want to keep coming back to you because of how you make them feel. It's not what you do, it's not what you say, but it's how you make people feel, that according to Maya Angelou, if I'm not mistaken. So ladies, thank you so very much for your excellent presentations and highlighting some of those customers, culture specific issues that impact our organizations and impact, obviously, the way our employees deliver presentations, deliver the services to customers. I'm now going to open the floor for questions and from the audience. Please open your mics and you may address each panelist by name and pose your question accordingly. Over to you, audience.
Dr. McDonald, apparently we did such a good job. There are no questions, but I see in the chat where persons are asking for the contact on how to do the JAXA customer service course.
Wow.
And I see where the numbers are being given in the chat. So just to say out loud, the numbers correct. Thank you. Thank you so very much. It's on screen. The numbers to contact JAXA is 978-8668 or 876-978-9930. Or as I said, you could call the insurance college. If you are in the insurance industry, call Glassman and sign up to do the course as well.
All right, I have a question. For you, Ms. Bridgman. So you talked about the training that you do at the insurance college. And you obviously address some of the issues in relation, some of those culture-specific issues that we talked about. Would you mind giving us an example of, some of or one of the training that you do that helps your employee individuals to understand their actions on the if that's part of it. I hope I'm not developing a new training for you, but how their actions actually impact the customers.
Well, I don't actually deliver the training program. I open it. I give the scenarios of the insurance industry, but I do know that the presenters, they do role play and they take the scenarios from the students and what they go through every day in insurance. As you said before in your little summary, it's not like with Dr. Laney, who you have a host, so you're getting the host. Lori alluded to it as well. It's really a promise in insurance. And so you're promising that when the client has a claim, we're going to be there. And once any client has a claim, they don't understand. They want that claim to be settled like now. They're meeting an accident and they don't understand all that goes on behind the scenes. They want back a new car. They want the car to be fixed now. And so it's scenarios like that and how you deal with that irate customer. And as I had alluded to, this communication. I think a big part of the course is you may not always can say, I'm going to settle it tomorrow, but communication. So they do a lot of role play and using the scenarios from the insurance industry so that when persons are faced with these challenges, they can remember, what they discussed. Or when you do the role play, it could be that someone shows another how they deal with a situation where that person probably would not have dealt with it quite the same, and so they learn from each other throughout the course.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bridgman. I see there's a question in the comment section. Monique Morrison. Monique, would you like to say who that question is being addressed to? Would you like to respond to that question? So the question asks that you speak to, can you speak to customer service in the HR function? Are you hoping that is there anyone who can address that, or is there is there one person who can like to speak to that?
I can answer from a general perspective.
Thank you.
With the course being offered by CARICODE, it speaks to all professions. So it's not that there's zoning, it's that the principles that are taught, whether it is you're in HR, whether you're in claims, Laurie said everyone at BCIC does the course. Whatever field that you are in, the techniques, the added value principles that are coming out, it applies to all the positions in the organization. It's not just the frontline persons. So when you're doing the course, if HR, the HR person might say, boy, when the employees come at me when something don't go wrong and I want to just answer back and have an attitude, they might put their own scenarios throughout the course and they do role play in that. So it's not just to deal with the external customer. The course also touch on how to deal with the internal customer. And as Pauline is saying again, whether external or internal, just the importance of communication, how you communicate, the body language, how you diffuse a situation, especially in HR, because, boy, I don't know, those HR people are very special people when you have to deal with an irate staff. But it's a broad-based course. It's not zoning to just salespeople or customer service people. It's for every function in the organization. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to what Sherry is saying that sometimes too, the use of technology can help our staff to access customer service in HR. So we recently moved into the My HR Plus system, where it allows you, without having to call HR, you can see your benefits in the system. You can make requests in the system. You can track it. And so I find that when persons are trained from Jackson and other areas, when they go back to their desk, as in the case of HR, they look at opportunities to improve customer service. And some of it involves the use of technology as well and creating turnaround times so that staff can know that within X time, I will get some feedback. But what was interesting, again, you were talking a little bit earlier, and I think Cheryl was attempting to, she gave her perspective on it. I think it's very important that all the staff get involved in customer service because it is a process. It's not, your output is another person's input. So all the staff have to get involved in customer service because ultimately that's what is going to help the customer who is external. So internal customer service is very, very critical. So for this week, which we are calling Customer Service Week, we are actually pampering our staff. So we have spas We have massages, we have counselors, because some persons, you're having problems, you want somebody to talk to, so we're looking at ways in which we can help our staff as well, because we know that they're the persons who are going to be facing all the customers externally as well.
Happy staff, happy customers.
That's
Absolutely. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Dr. Crick spoke to that, and that is a true word. Carol is asking, can this be replicated in
Sorry, before we go there, Shirley, Lorianne has been trying to say something.
Sorry, I
Go
didn't
ahead,
see that.
That's okay.
I just want to underscore the point, because the reason that we actually wanted I want to be able to have a claim that 100% of BCIT staff are customer service certified, because there is an internal customer and an external customer, right? And internal customers, oftentimes internal customers are trying to get things done to be able to service external customers. So if you have only our frontline staff that is responsive and empathetic and doing those things, and you have an internal other internal people, back office operations that just don't have that same mindset, there's a disconnect, and there will never be a joined up approach. And so in terms of HR, I would look at it as HR actually has a pretty difficult job, because they have many customers, right? They have the whole organization. They're working on behalf of the organization. They're working on behalf of the employees. They're trying to find that middle ground. So, I would say that the JAXA program is not specific to just insurance. It's really a broad-based program that anybody across any industry would benefit from. And I would really encourage us to look at both internal and external customers as just a customer, right? So
that's how I was going to answer Monique's question, Laurie. And
yes.
in comparison to customer service courses worldwide, it's very affordable. It's the only other thing I would have to add to your response, Laurie.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, ladies. Lorianne, thanks a lot. There are two other questions here. Carol, one from Carol Fagan Gordon. Now, I think Lorianne may have answered this question. The question that Carol is asking is, can this be replicated in retail and food services? But is there anything you'd like to add to that, Laurie?
Just to say that probably food service is where we need it to go. I would say that everybody has a story about going into a food service organization just having the worst customer experience. So yes, I definitely think that probably is where JAXA needs to kind of do some focus over on that side, but it absolutely is replicable, I think, across the board, across industries.
Absolutely. Okay, so were you saying something, Shirley?
I was agreeing with Laurie, and as I mentioned before, the JAXA program is very affordable. So it's not that the gas station couldn't afford it for their attendants or one of those fast food chains. It's very affordable, and it is a program that all companies actually could incorporate in their culture.
Right. Thank you. I just wondered, before we go to Michelle's question, I just wondered, though, if you specifically spoke to, say, gas stations, etc., and I wondered if there's anything, maybe because some of the workers in some industries are more casual laborers. I'm not sure about the gas station employees.
I said gas station because I'm staring at one through the window.
That's right. So I'm just thinking that maybe because some environments are a little bit more, casual than others, maybe employers don't.
But Dr. McDonald, yes, there are some environments that are a little bit more casual, and you have high turnover. But can you imagine if we all come together as a nation and doing this?
Absolutely.
So not because JB gas station, I hope there's no gas station with this name, that just totally made up, have sent John Brown to do the course. When John Brown moves on and he goes to a supermarket to work, or he goes to a fast food restaurant to work, he's going to bring those principles with him. So in the long run, it benefits the country.
And JB will live with him for a little while. Yes. All right. Question from Michelle Lewin. Management usually do not buy into customer, which results in frustration in my time of work. Are management taking external, internal customer service as mandatory? Can you explain that? So management usually, they don't really buy into the customer, which results into frustration in time. I guess customer service, maybe customer service, Michelle, you're speaking specifically to, yeah. So are they actually understanding that the external and internal customers, service is or are mandatory?
I mean, I can jump in here as well from a BCIT perspective. We have, I think it's really important to have buy-in from the top all the way down into the organization. If there's a disconnect somewhere, then it doesn't work. And I can say, our managing director, Peter Levy, is an absolute advocate for the customer. And he is very supportive of his team in terms of making improvements. So it's not, for us, it's not just customer service training. That's one part of it, but there's also, a real focus on continuous improvement, looking at our processes, making sure that when we get the feedback, we have all this great NPS program where we're getting feedback from customers. We're not just sitting down on that feedback. It then needs to be then said, okay, where are we letting down our customers? Where are our processes failing? And going into those processes and making those improvements so that we can also support the frontline staff who we've invested in training. Because at the end of the day, you can have an empathetic, wonderful frontline staff who are trying to help their customers. If there's the processes are failing them, then the customers are still going to have a bad experience, and it's just going to frustrate everyone all around. So I think it's having that top-down approach and looking at your process improvement as well. So it has to be a real joined-up approach.
So we're also talking about organizational structure here as well. So the structure of the organization that helps to improve or helps to actually, or to advocate for the customer as well. All right.
And Dr. McDonald, I just wanted to add, also it should be one of your KPIs. It has to be one of your KPIs, because if it is not, then the managers and the leaders will not take it seriously. So at any age, it should be one of the KPIs. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies. Great stuff. Really enjoying this, can I tell you? Okay, I have Carrie Ann Shaw Walker. How do you encourage customer-centric attitudes in a space where the internal relationship may be toxic? Wow. Many of us know about those environments. Yes.
Recently, right. So recently we looked at a training program from MIND, Management Institute for National Development, and it's called Emotional Intelligence. And there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. And so what usually happens is that you can just picture a deer in a pit, right? And there's someone on top of the pit looking down and saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry that you're in the pit. I'm so sorry that, you are in the pit." But then there is another person who will go down in the pit to find out what is happening to the deer and assist.
Yes.
So I find that emotional intelligence will help in a situation like that, where first of all, you speak to this, you look at yourself. That course taught you first to find out, where are you? If you're coming to work with a lot of baggage, a lot of hostility, you need to know, first of all, own it. I am sad. I am happy. I am angry. And then second of all, you have to recognize that all the other persons around you also have emotions that they're dealing with. And then to recognize that if you are going to work as a team, you are going to have to deal with some of those emotions. And critical to it is, what are the values in the organization? If professionalism is not one of the values, you're going to have problems, because you're both coming into the environment with hostility. Then you're going to find that it's really toxic. You're going to have to come to a stage where you say, listen, I am going to change towards this person. I am going to be the change. And hopefully, if you have emotional intelligence programs, other persons will also learn about it. And then the whole environment will stop being toxic over time. So first, we need to identify the feelings and the emotions and the problem.
I'd like to add to that, and it's a toxic environment certainly start with every single one of us, right? But just going back to communications, so often you come and using me and Lainey right here, and I think the environment is toxic because Lainey does this and Lainey do that. But just going to talk to Lainey, just saying, may I sit down and talk to you? So often those conversation leads to, oh my, I didn't know I was making you feel like this. I'm sorry. And the relationship fixes. So it's the culture of the organization. Is it open enough that is it an open door policy? Can you go and speak to a manager openly about how they make you feel, or a co-worker? So it as Dr. Lainey said, and I totally agree, it starts with each of us, and it leads now into communication and the culture of the organization.
Very true, ladies. Very, very true. So we talk about customer-centric environments. We also need to look at a people-centric environment. Is the organization, does it value its people? That kind of thing. And if people are responding to customers, we need to make them feel, valued themselves. Yeah, true. All right, let's look at, so Carol Fagan's come back again, and Carol says, can it then be a mandatory requirement for all industries to reflect that some training of staff? Right. Okay. So basically, it is necessary. Is it, can we have that, they recognize that it's, the customer, some training of staff is necessary. Then you can show that they have all completed some kind of training, certification.
This is where, Dr. McDonald, I'd like to commend the ISO 9001-2015 initiative, because it was really a program with the World Bank where several entities and ministries and agencies in the public sector, and I know that Sharon Lorian can speak about the private sector, but in the public sector, we had never had that, where we got funds from the World Bank to implement the project and to pay for the certification. To me, that was very, very pivotal, because it is almost like it deciding, okay, customer service in the public sector has to change. It has to improve. And we're going to invest in it. And the question about sustainability comes even within the ISO 9001-2015 program, because there is a standard that calls for continuous improvement. And so having a partnership with JAXA, for example, it's not a one-off training. You're going to need to constantly train, refresh. Like, one of the things I found interesting is when the students came back from COVID, you realize the amount of videos we saw with persons fighting, and this was after COVID. They had not remembered how to socialize, how to deal with differences, etc. And I find that it's similar in the workplace. Adults they came to the workplace after COVID with their issues too. And so it's not a one-time training, but constant training. So partnerships with the Jamaica Customer Service Association, with MIND, being part of the ISO 9001-2015, it forces you then to get engaged in continuous training and continuous improvement.
So what we really have been talking about, ladies, is change, because we have not really become, as a country, we're moving from a place where, things have just been done any old way, and we have no choice but to accept it. But now we're recognizing that it can't be the same old. We can't maintain the status quo and expect that sustainability, expect that our organizations are going to be successful and that people are going to think nicely or highly of these organizations. So that recognition is there, and that mindset change has begun, and we're looking at the psychological health of the organization, and we're seeing where that is something that, why are you laughing, lady? Yeah, we're seeing where the psychological health of the organization is now becoming a priority. It's not just, telling people what to do, but also working with people to make the change happen. All right, so here's another question here. And I think this is a question from for Dr. Oakley Williams from Althea Mackenzie. It takes years, they say, to change habits of a country. What did you learn from this experience with the ISO certification process that might assist more organizations to achieve better customer service ideals, whether in the public or private sector? Excellent question.
All right. So one of the things that was very exciting is the fact that all the public sector entities were charged with this mandate, and not all of them have bought onto it as yet, but several of them went through the process. What I find very interesting with the program is the whole issue of internal audits, where you're doing your own pulse checks, where you're training your own persons to audit the quality management system. So we trained over 60 persons in our organization, and they all got involved. So it wasn't a situation where it was one person who is charged with this ISO 9001:2015 banner, but all the staff were involved, and they too were auditing other areas. So you may not be in construction and development, but you're going into construction and development and auditing them. So getting the staff involved was something that really worked as well, having the champions of the system. And when you think about what is happening, for example, even with TAG, because I'm looking at the other public sector entities, you can now go on the TAG website and pay for a lot of services. Before that, we didn't have that. And so I'm finding that the ministries and agencies of government are beginning to have a more customer-centric focus. And I believe that ISO 9001:2015 was one of the things that helped to have that focus. Because if you want to remain certified, and remember, every year there is what we call a surveillance audit. So if you're not constantly looking at your quality management system, you're going to fall off and you will not be recertified. So I think it was very important to have the public sector doing that. And I know that the private sector, they have been doing it for years. And I think now they are going to have a better Jamaica when you have both public sector and private sector working towards customer service and continuous improvement.
Wow, great stuff. Thank you so much for that. Okay, I see a final question here from Dion Taylor Wilson. How do you get your managers to buy into taking care of your workers so that you can feel good about taking care of the customers? We also spoke of mental health and wellness yesterday. It is necessary for the employees to pay attention to this. Dion, I think you are spot on. Any response to that?
Yes, I think again it comes down to some of the stuff that we've talked about. It comes down to culture, the culture of the organization, having an organization that understands that its people are its most valuable resource, its employers and its employees, and so you won't be able to drive any of that revenue growth, customer experience, if you don't have the buy-in of your people, and you don't have the buy-in of your people if you don't take care of your people, right? So it really has to be a cultural approach. It has to be a top-down approach. If you have a leader that has that mindset, it really needs to come from there. I can speak from experience that BCIC is probably one of the best cultures I've ever worked in my 20-year career. We have a very family-oriented culture, and it really is from the top down. Like I said, Peter Levy is also one of the best bosses I've ever had in my 20-year career. He has such an empathetic approach, but he's also, and we've seen the real tangible growth, right? We're the #1 general insurance insurer in Jamaica. When I came, we were at about maybe 2-3, and we were, we've put in a lot of programs since then, done a lot of work, training, process improvement, and we've driven our way up to #1. And it's because of our people and the culture that we have here. So there's no excuse not to say that investing in your people doesn't pay off dividends, because the BCIC is a real example of we've invested in our people, even during COVID. During COVID, when everybody was pulling back on spend, we took the time to get all of our managers into our training to learn specifically about how to manage a remote team, because managing somebody in person is so different from managing an in-person team. And in fact, even after COVID, we've still maintained that hybrid work environment. So you can decide if you're going to, how many days a week are going to come in. Most people, it's for 3 days a week. Frontline staff is a little bit different because obviously they're customer facing, so they have to be in. But having those tools to be able to understand how to manage an hybrid work environment and a hybrid team is so critical. And we made that investment in our people. So again, it is a cultural thing. It is a top-down thing. But it's one of those things that will pay off.
Great stuff. Any other thoughts, ladies?
Endorse Laura's answer. Lenny alluded to it too. It starts at the top. It starts with the leader, and it starts with training for those leaders. And as Lenny said before, continuous training, not just a one-time thing. Embedding it in the organization, and it's a top-down approach. Fully agree with Laura's answer.
Absolutely. Right. Wow. This was quite a big topic. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it got to the heart of some of the challenges that we're faced with in our country, and which we're on the cusp. We're on the verge of change. We're in a place where cultural change is critical. We cannot continue to go the route we have been and expect that customers are going to be happy with us. So here are some companies, ladies and gentlemen, who are not only focusing on growing their brands, their companies, but also investing in the people. And the people, we hear more and more organizations are talking about mental wellness and mental well-being, etc. And, you hear people say, well, it's just that check the box thing. They're just checking a box because it's not demonstrated. We still don't feel valued. We still don't feel we're not engaged. We still don't feel etc. So, but I hear from these companies who are genuinely doing, some things that will move employees, move exactly. I'm not remembering the term right now, but we're moving from point A and we're going straight across the continuum and making a difference. Change is important, and change is not a one-off thing. It's something that you have to keep reiterating. People need to be reminded, because it's not a natural thing for us. It's not a natural thing to deliver service. Anne spoke about it. Dr. Ingleton spoke about it. And thank you very much, ladies, for your very insightful, meaningful, enlightening presentations. And as I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And we could go on forever, but I think our time is up. We need to move on. And so I'm thank you so very much. And I will go back to our moderator, our host, Althea. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye. It was great being here.
Thank you. Bye.
So part of this experience is ensuring that we manage our time well. Ladies, what an thank you also very much, Dr. Corinth McDonald, moderator Dr. Lainey Oakley-Williams, Lorian Glasgow, and Cheryl Bridgman. Now we're going to break for lunch, but I have taken off 10 minutes. Now remember now that we are doing this online. Yesterday we had, I think, 15 minutes for lunch. Today I'm giving you 20. And so we meet back right here. I just want to encourage you as well to make sure that you are doing some networking. You can visit the expo that is also online, and try to get a sense of what it is that the companies have on offer. Because after all, this is done for you, and this is part of the experience that we want to share with you, where you're able to take stock of what they have to offer. And then whatever it is that you learn here today, make sure you're taking it back to your organizations and you're putting it into practice. So we break for lunch and we'll be back here in 20 minutes.
Greetings, my people. I am Erica Heslop Martin, Vice President of Public Relations and Communications at the Jamaica Customer Service Association. The Jamaica Customer Service Association has been around for over 23 years, and we are advocates for customer service excellence. We believe in promoting customer service excellence wherever we go. We are encouraging you as individuals, corporate entities, retirees, and students to join this association, join this movement so that we can improve customer service in Jamaica and across the world. Let us come together and go above and beyond in delivering quality customer service. Customer service matters because without our customers, there is no business. Customer service is our business, and we need to understand that delivering quality customer service is very important to the success of any business. Join the Customer Service Association today, the Jamaica Customer Service Association, and be a part of this movement. Visit our website or social media pages for more details. Thank you.